Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D, campaign number 2 of Black Ink and Blue Blood. When we last left off, the party continued their journey through the Icar Research Facility owned by the Scar Concord. The small squad of Zephyr, Neon, and Kero managed to regroup with the party, bringing in tow a Icar beast going by Subject Theta, who seems to have actually been able to maintain some of their cohesiveness and sentience through the Icar transformation process. Previously, something that you all believed was exclusive to yourselves. Questioning Theta on what little they could remember of their previous lives, has agreed to do some last explorations of the dungeon before clearing out, with Neon hoping to call in peacekeepers to exterminate the remaining Icar beasts and secure the facility, rather than having the party themselves risk their lives doing it. Studying the local computer files to get a map of the facility, which, with Lucian's keen mind, you now all have memorized. You all are heading into the... doing directions in my head here. Believe this is Western... the Western Enrichment Center of this floor of the facility, where Neon hopes to enter the Enrichment Center itself and use the radio tower there to get in more cohesive contact with the Peacekeepers rather than relying on Lucian's spells. And Lucian has taken interest in what appears to be a library stationed there. So, after you guys finished questioning Subject Theta, you all gathered yourselves and started heading into the next room. Gil lighting the way with your flaming blade, and Caleb and Kero in the back with Subject Theta, just cautiously looming behind all of you. Is there anything you guys would like to do before entering the Enrichment Center Western Wing?
I'm just making a beeline right to that library.
She's running.
Sprinting to it.
Run.
Run,
I guess you could say she's... I guess you could say she's sprinting for those printings.
Alright, that wasn't bad. That was pretty good. I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
Sprinting for the printings. We need to make that a shirt. just a thing of
Put
Lucian.
that on a shirt.
Yeah. Alright. In that case,
Nobody will get because no one will see this.
heading in to the Eastern Bay, you all find yourselves in a large hallway leading into a easily visible room. Neon, as I mentioned last time, on your right side, you see just shelves of electronic parts, generators. You see a few much smaller and seemingly stable boilers. This hallway is burning hot, and Neon, you can see at a glance the marks of welding and repair on some of the generators and boilers, which you had seen the machine that was patrolling these halls repairing everything. So you get the impression that, like, since this place was abandoned, that one robot, as far as you know, has been the only thing keeping this facility standing. But Lucian, at a glance, you can actually see the shelves of books, and physical books, not seeming digital. You see a few binders and folders, along with a few just typical book bindings. This hallway is fairly well lit, although you do see a slight flickering in the library. Seemingly one of the lamps is on its way out. So as you guys stand in the burning hot hallway, surrounded by boilers and generators, you see 2 doors on your left, the library directly ahead of you, and a hallway going upstairs to the right through the library. What would you all like to do?
To the library, of course.
All right, Lucian's heading for the library.
guess
What are the rest of you
so.
doing?
And
Right
I'm gonna
here.
follow her.
I guess since we're here, Caleb will look around.
Okay. Caro, Neon, Zephyr?
What can we see again? My brain said no.
It's okay. You're in a fairly well-lit room. On the right side, you see a bunch of generators, boilers, and shelves of electronic parts. To your left is 2 doors. You see the library ahead of you, and on the other side of the library, going to the right, you see a staircase going up.
Interesting.
The library's lights are slightly flickering. It appears one of the lamps is on the way out, but you can't clearly see it yet. You can just see the distant bookshelves.
Could be high, you say?
Jeez.
Time
that
to go
about
to
getting
that
high?
staircase.
All right. So.
High as in she can be tall.
All right. So Kara's heading for the stairs. Lucy and Gil and Caleb heading for the library. Zephyr and Neon. What are the 2 of you doing?
I guess I'll follow Kara. Why not?
I'm gonna just go straight for the radio tower because that's kind of important.
Yeah, which you would know to be up those stairs because you saw the blueprints. So,
All right.
all right.
Split the party again.
Yeah, I mean it's literally like a 1-room difference at the moment.
Yeah.
So, and Raccoon for the time being. Gil, just kind of looking around at the slightly
My
flickering
backpack.
lights. Yeah, backpack. All right.
Backpack.
Caleb, you said you wanted to look around. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
I don't like the way he said that.
You don't like the way I say a lot of things, to be fair.
Wow, Matthew, you had to take it there. That's gonna be 16 in total.
All right. So, Caleb, you and Subject Theta kind of cautiously stay a bit towards the back as Zephyr, Caro, and Neon head for the stairs, and Lucian and Gil go ahead of you into the library. And as you kind of cautiously listen and look around, as you pass the second door on the left, you hear something. Some odd gurgles and what sounds like almost like the best sound you can equivalent it to is the sound of a flint hammer of a rifle smacking against the pan, but no, like only sparks, no explosion. And you see Theta kind of perk their head up and give a slight.
Caleb is gonna try the. Who went into the library ahead of us?
Well, everyone's technically in the library right now, but Lucian and Gil are staying in the library. The other 3 are heading for the stairs, but everyone is going to have to pass through the library to get to the stairs anyway. So pretty much everyone's in the library.
Caleb is going to say that he's hearing something weird in there.
All right. As Caleb gets all of you guys' attention, as you guys start to split up, you see Caleb standing next to the second door on the left, the closest one into the library. And as Caleb draws your attention, all of you can hear it now too, that slight...
Which way does it seem to be coming?
Again, it's the second door on the left from the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Does in my canine brain, is that the way to the towers?
No, the towers are up the stairs to the right. This was marked on the map as simply personal quarters.
That's probably Alpha that you hear. Because that's where
Alpha?
Alpha was, remember?
No,
Yeah, that was the first
No,
we saw, right?
no. To be clear, Alpha was in the hallway, like back the other direction. Like from the starting room, Alpha was to the right. You guys went from the starting room to the left
That's
now,
where I
and
thought we were.
yeah, this is taking.
Bit out there for a little bit, but yeah. So it's not.
Yeah,
Alpha.
the opposite
Well, we
way.
should probably be quiet for the time being. Of course, I'm saying this as I whisper.
Yeah,
We
stage
should
whisper.
probably be quiet for the
Yes.
time being. I'm going to take a look at all the books. Just kind of take a quick look around, and I'll meet you back upstairs. Okay?
Caleb, as you kind of pause to listen, the noise doesn't appear to be growing in volume or aggressiveness. The only difference you see is Theta starts to kind of lightly paw at the door, but not make any moves to open it. Just making their own gurgles to match the gurgles of whatever they're hearing on the other side. But do you want to stay here and investigate that, or head into the library with the others?
Does the door have like one of those windows on it, or is it like a solid door?
Yeah, it's just a solid door, although you notice this one does not have a scanner or key card. It's simply a button to open it.
Very secure.
Caleb's gonna leave the door for now.
Most secure.
Yep. Well, to be fair, like it's just one of their rooms.
I
Like,
get that.
oh no, you found my diary. All right. So, Caleb, heading in to join the others. You all find yourselves in the library, because again, those of you heading to the stairs are going to have to pass through here anyway. It's a relatively large room, although definitely this is more of a reading nook than a proper library, but it does indeed have some books. And Neon, for you in particular, it is kind of startling that these are physical books rather than digital ones, as is more common in Edict. This room is absolutely coated in ink and ichor. The chairs and lamps are absolutely coated in the stuff, and you see some of the chairs have outright been torn apart or ripped by ichor beasts passing through the area. One of them is visibly dripping, completely soaked through with ink. You see one of the side tables' lamp is flickering, which appears to be creating the flickering effect of the light in this room. And Caleb, with your perception check from earlier, your attention is drawn to a small leather bag underneath the lamp. It doesn't seem remarkable at a glance, but you just kind of notice it. The others seem to just kind of glance at it and pass it on by. All right, sure. You pick up the bag. It's relatively light, appears to be made of a leather-like material. You see a few patches here and there. It appears to be drawstring, and you can open it if you like.
Caleb will peek inside the bag.
As you open the bag and look through, you don't see anything. Not even the bottom of the bag. Just darkness.
Oh.
It's just empty?
Oh, no, it's completely dark. You don't even see, it's right under the lamp, but you don't even see the bottom of the bag. It's just it's just pitch black
Do
when
I
you
see
open it.
Caleb with this bag?
Caleb is going to shake the bag to see if it makes any noises.
Lucian, your attention is drawn to Caleb. I mean, the rest of you can participate as well, just because Lucian was specifically asking. As Caleb, you start to kind of lightly shake it, and you all hear a very noticeable clatter, as if many objects are being moved in tandem as Caleb lightly shakes the satchel.
Caleb is going to...
Caleb, do you mind if I take a look at that little bag for a minute?
I found it.
I understand that. I'm not going to take it from you. I just want to look at it.
Like a kid,
Caleb holds up the bag. So
finders keepers, losers weepers.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb's young. It's fair.
Caleb they said they wanted to. So she says she wanted to see it, so Caleb holds up the bag so she could see it.
Yeah.
Can I see, because of my family history, is this bag magical in nature?
Make an Arcana check.
Like, it's just...
Dirty 20.
From the sheer amount of clatter you're hearing from such a small bag, and as Caleb lets you see it but not touch it, you can see the absolute darkness inside the bag and not see any objects. You don't know for sure, but this definitely strikes you as one of many pocket dimension items. It could be a haversack, possibly a bag of holding. You aren't sure at a glance, but it is definitely pocket dimension technology.
Caleb is going to take
Caleb,
his dagger.
could you do me a favor?
Caleb
Don't
looks
rip the
up.
bag.
Don't rip the bag. Shh. Go.
Well, he wasn't gonna do that. He was gonna. Before he does that, he was gonna just kind of poke at the darkness slightly to see if something happens and something touches it.
All right.
Turn the inside out, please.
The back
Caleb will also do that.
Why?
Well, no. There's actually a reason for it.
I know, but doesn't that like launch everything, right?
Well, let's find out. Caleb already said they're gonna do it. So
If
Caleb,
this goes wrong.
go on.
I already said something.
Oh, I just wasn't sure if you were finished. Caleb, you kind of cautiously prod the darkness with the dagger, and the dagger disappears into the darkness, but you're able to take it back out easily enough. It doesn't seem to get stuck to it or anything, just almost vanishes completely from sight once it enters the darkness. So, kind of giving a light shrug, you follow Lucian's direction and turn the bag inside out, and all of your, because again, everyone's in the room since you would have to pass through here to get to the stairs, all of your guys' attention is drawn to a insane clatter as Caleb, at your feet, a massive pile of objects starts to build up, way more than should reasonably be able to
Caleb's
fit in
going to
that bag.
stop it. Caleb's going to pull it back so it doesn't make too big of a mess.
Caleb, you kind of quickly right the bag and tighten it back up, and the clatter begins to slowly die down, although you still hear that of a coin spinning on the ground before silence falls on the library again.
I told you it better not go wrong. Now I gotta clean this up. Caleb's gonna...
Well, it didn't. It happened. Everything is fine. What you have here is a pocket dimension item. I don't know exactly what it is because I cannot identify it just by looking at it. But obviously, it can hold a lot in it. So
While talking,
congratulations. I
Caleb
want one, but I'm not going to be jealous. How much money could I give you for that?
Like, you are jealous, it's just you're not gonna show
Caleb
it.
is gonna start sorting through the stuff that fell out just to get an idea of some of the stuff that's in it.
Just like ignoring her. Like, how much do you want? She's like, ooh, shiny.
Alright, so Caleb, you bend down and start to kind of sort through the various items. And you see a variety of things that catch your attention. You see a cloak with, on the hood, there appear to be strange, horn-like protrusions. The cloak itself is a dark bluish midnight gray. You see a pair of glasses. The frame appears to be a somewhat uncomfortable-looking metal, but they appear to be functional otherwise.
Caleb just looks at these like, why would somebody wear this? And just tosses it to the side.
You see
I'm gonna go get them.
All right. You grab the glasses carefully. They don't appear to be broken, thankfully. The metal does look tough, even if it doesn't look necessarily comfortable or fashionable. Caleb, sorting through the pile more, you see a suit, relatively nice one.
Fancy.
How big is it?
It appears to be made for an adult. So it may not necessarily fit you super comfortably, but otherwise it's relatively unremarkable. It's just an adult tuxedo.
Caleb will stuff it back into the bag.
All You see,
Question: the tuxedo, does it look familiar to me?
in what way? Like the design, or like?
Does it like the design, or like does it resemble another tuxedo that I have seen before?
Make a history check.
Okay.
And Caleb, sorting through the pile more, you find a small bottle of water and a half-open bag of chips. In total, that's a day's worth of rations and water.
Are the chips still good?
Do you want to eat one and find out?
It's like,
Sure. Caleb will munch on one of the chips.
Yeah. Caleb, you actually recognize this as the same brand you had purchased from the gas station you had passed through. You take a cautious bite. It's edible, but incredibly stale.
Caleb throws the chips aside.
You see a small, almost, it fits easily in the palm of your hand, smaller than a tennis ball, a small golden ball.
Caleb is going to give it a little shake to see if it makes any noises.
As you give this ball a shake, you actually hear a slight the sound of very tiny ticking gears. And as you're doing this, the ball lets out a small jet of steam. Not painful, just more startling than anything. And begins to unfurl. The unfurling from the ball, you see made of very tiny rods and gears and wires, a almost humanoid frame begin to take shape. And the ball opens up further and kind of inverts on itself to form a single massive red eye on the very front of this sort of humanoid body, it's almost like a very tiny cyclops. And finally, from the back, a large for its size but very tiny for you, pair of thin membranous wings opens up on its back, almost looking like a very tiny mechanical fairy. And the wings start to flap and buzz lightly as it lifts off of your hand and just hovers there and stares at you.
What is this thing for?
The machine kind of tilts its head to the side and gives a light.
It seems to be. Caleb, could you do me a favor?
What?
Could you ask it to do something for you?
Can you help me clean up this mess? Taking out all the stuff on the floor.
And it promptly buzzes towards the ground and starts to gather the remaining items. It's very tough for it at its size, but it does begin to help you sort things as much as it can. And that, Caleb, actually will be a good segue as you kind of watch this. As you watch this tiny little construct start to clean up, the one quote-unquote remaining item, quote-unquote, that you hadn't fully counted yet, is, as you watch the machine gather them together, what appears to be a grand total of 2,100 silver coins.
Okay, now I gotta... Okay, what's the conversion of silver to gold?
10 silver to a gold.
Yeah.
Alright, calculator, come here.
So that'd be 210 gold.
Yeah.
210 gold with nothing left over?
Yeah, perfect conversion.
Yeah.
210 gold.
Yep.
I would just put in silver to 2,000
As
technically.
I see the silver, I just kind of muttered to myself. I guess money is out of the question.
I mean, you're already rich, but...
And Caleb, as the small construct gathers up the coins, it stands atop the massive pile as you start to count them, and just stares at you and tilts its head to the side, appearing to be waiting for further orders.
Caleb is going to start putting those things
It will
into the
probably
bag.
fight with you, Caleb.
Hmm?
I guess I have to see what they can do. As he's putting these things that he sorted back into the bag.
As you say that, Caleb, the machine tilts its rounded head up with its red eye glaring at one of the lights on the ceiling, and the eye begins to glow bright red before the light shatters as it fires a laser at the ceiling light, shattering it.
Interesting.
Oh, wow. I'm sure that would hurt something.
That history check, by the way, is a 25.
As you watch Caleb pack the suit back up, it doesn't appear. It appears to be a relatively generic tuxedo. It doesn't appear to be uniquely assignable to any region you can think of, at least. It does look fancy, though.
Not like fancy or anything. Because I'm wondering if it belonged to a certain doctor that we all know.
Nah, it's a the doctor to wear relatively colorful suits. This is just a simple black tuxedo. All right,
Okay.
so Caleb,
Caleb
you can
is also
divvy up
going
these.
to. Caleb is also going to maybe. I guess he's going to try to rummage around for anything else that he hadn't sorted because it didn't fall out.
As you kind of rummage around in the bag, you're actually a little startled and uncomfortable as you're able to fit your entire arm in the bag that should really only go up to your elbow at most. But feeling around, you don't. There doesn't appear to be anything else in this bag that you missed. So you've already added the gold, Caleb, since you stuffed it back. Caleb, you may go ahead and note that you have a bag of holding. A set of fine clothes, an extra day of rations and water, and you've already added the money.
Bag of holding.
Bag of holding.
I'm really jealous. Good job.
Do I have to attune to this?
Nope, that's just an item.
No, it's just an item.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to use it the whole time.
And then, am I able to actually have things like listed as in it, or do I just have them in my inventory now?
I believe you have to just have them in your inventory, but the bag of holding can fit quite a lot. So basically, just you can just keep track of what you have in the bag of holding and what you have on your person.
Yeah.
Okay. So, hold up, I'm gonna have to make a list now.
You might have to. It looks like someone wants to buy something from you.
Done. Lucian wants to talk to Caleb.
Yeah, so here, I'll send Hunter. I'll send you the list of the items you've identified so far. You already have the money, so I'll skip that. So, and then while you're doing that, I'll cut to everyone else.
Hey, yeah, go ahead and send me the list, and I'll copy it to somewhere.
That's
because
it.
Besides does the weight of all those items still count, even though they're in the bag of holding?
Nope. While they're in a bag of holding, their weight is irrelevant.
Zero.
How do I do that?
I think you can.
I don't think you can do it on D&D Beyond, but let's just not worry about it until you get to encumbrance, and then we can start factoring in how much weight to remove. For now,
do you do encumbrance?
Generally, yes, but only because it's so rare for it to actually happen. So I figure it's fair for it to be there just for when it emerges.
It depends on the person.
I mean, Caleb is pretty low on that old strength, so.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying it's very unlikely, especially with these items aren't particularly heavy, so you should be fine. But yeah, and with the bag itself, the clothes, the coins, and the food and water. All that's left is the glasses and the cloak, which, and of course, this small
fine
construct.
Clothes.
Yeah, I sent it to you.
You sent me the list, okay.
Yeah, so for the time being, Zephyr, Neon, and Caro, are the three of you going to stick around in the library? Or are you? Well, that's the items you've identified, because you don't know what the cloak and glasses are yet. So for the time being, are the three of you heading upstairs going to stay in here or continue your path upstairs?
I'm going to continue my path upstairs.
I'll follow. Yeah, I'll follow them. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I will
commotion.
also continue.
Alright.
But I will wave at Theta.
Theta kind of briefly pauses there, pawing at the door, and turns and gives you a very slow, goopy wave. All right. The short squad continues their adventures.
Yeah.
You all start to head up the stairs. The
Zephyr
stairs
really has made friends.
yeah.
You just had to be as short as him.
That's why he hates everyone.
He just had to be as short as really just compensating.
I mean, even then, they're still taller than me by a decent margin, just not as much as the rest of y'all.
Yeah. Alright, so.
How little are kobolds?
Kobolds are
small.
pretty little. Yeah, they're pretty little. They're shorter than goblins.
And in fairness, Kara
Like
is
1
big
foot?
for her species.
I'm 2
And-
foot
What are they,
one.
like 1 foot tall?
No,
Yeah, 2 feet.
They're,
Yeah,
they're roughly about I think about 2 to 3 feet, but Zephyr's young, so
Yeah.
he's 2'1".
If you want to picture it, think of a golden retriever standing on all fours. He's a foot shorter than it.
Yeah. So, you all start to head up the stairs. The library, just other than the flickering light, especially as one of the lights is shot out as you guys are heading upstairs, and the ink stains. You imagine in its prime, the library was relatively cozy and like comfortable, and especially because the library itself is pretty far from the boilers, so it creates this kind of like ambient warmth that almost makes you want to go to sleep. But as you guys start heading up the stairs, the atmosphere almost immediately changes. Whether that's due to the cold of the facility itself, or just the soulless metal of the walls and stairs, you can't really know for sure. But the three of you start to head upstairs, and Neon in the lead, you find your ascension blocked by a small platform, across from which is another door with a key card slot and biometric scanner.
Small platform.
Like basically, like the stairs flatten out into almost a very small hallway before this door. So there's like enough room for you guys to there without having to be like sitting on the stairs. So yeah, your way forward up the stairs is blocked. There's a keycard slot and a biometric scanner like the previous ones you've encountered.
Well, it seems we're developing a combo move here. I'm gonna go use my tool of hack to hack the door. Well, the not the keycard, the biometric scanner.
Yeah, and Zephyr, you want to get on their shoulders and take care of the keycard?
I guess I'll try out this new dice and see how well it will serve me.
All right, Neon, making me a
Who was it
hacking.
that got the thing that I was Neon had the hacking tool?
Yeah.
Yep. So Neon, make me a hacking tools check. Zephyr, make me a thieves tools check. And Caro, as you're, you've seen them do this enough times, so you just kind of wait. But you feel a slight warmth on your back as Caro ascends up the stairs to catch up with you, and kind of give its ears kind of low, and kind of gives like a low like. And with your attunement to this creature, you know that it basically was instinctively like, don't wander off again, you left me all alone.
I'm sorry, Gil, and I give him big scritches.
So what was thief tools?
They kind of dexterity plus your proficiency if you're proficient.
Yeah.
And I think you said you have expertise in it, actually.
I do. So
yeah,
plus
so
10,
double your
so
proficiency.
24.
Nice, Neon.
23.
Man, the two of you.
Yeah.
All right, so
Helps that I get a plus 6 bonus.
Oh, yeah, I got plus
true.
10, so I'm like...
yeah. So, Caro, you give apologetic scritches to Gara, who just leans into you and gives low chuffs. As Zephyr, you get up on Neon's shoulders once more, slice the wires behind the keycard slot, Neon hacking into the biometric scanner, and sure enough, and the door opens. And all of you immediately take like almost a step back as you're greeted with freezing cold air, like sharply contrasting the warmth of the library, again, for being so adjacent to the boilers. Looking ahead of you, you all see a long stretch that appears to just be hallway, but looking to your right, you can see a wall of frosted glass, which appears to, and Neon, you can at least recall the map well enough to know that from its design and placement, this must be the observation chamber. On the opposite side of the hall from you, you see a fairly large, but not like massive computer monitor with a massive integrated into the wall and floor keyboard at its base.
I want to take a look.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the computer. Zephyr, Kara, what are the two of you doing?
Hang on, Matt, you cut out real hard for a sec.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, my internet can be a little finicky.
No worries.
Basically, so yeah, Neon, if you're heading to the computer, Zephyr and Kara, what are the two of you doing?
I want to make a perception check of this area.
Make me, so just of this room?
Yes, of this room.
Alright, make me a perception check. Zephyr, what are you doing?
Don't take my dice out of this room. Foolish bastard.
Zephyr?
I guess I'll help Kara with her perception. I don't know.
Sure. Okay, Kara, make that perception with advantage.
Oi. Boom. My dice out. Ow! I almost dropped it again.
Delivers the gold, the fine clothes, and the bag itself. Okay, one day ran. The glasses that he threw away.
Yeah, and a cloak. You don't know what the two of those are specifically yet, but yeah, you can note that.
I just add a cloak so I know I have it.
Sure, and like you're able to put customize, so you can put in. The glasses are really light, so you can just throw in glasses as well.
Okay, I got an 18.
Well,
Okay.
Lucian has the glasses.
No, true. So, all right, Caro, you and Zephyr cautiously look around the room as Neon totters ahead of all of you to kind of putting you down at the base of the door, Zephyr, to head towards the computer. There doesn't appear to be much in the hallway itself, but the two of you head towards the window and you listen, and Zephyr, you kind of rub a bit at the frost to be able to at least attempt to get a better look, as you had seen your brother do with the previous frozen window. Caro, as you would really rather not touch frosted glass with your bare, easily frozen skin, you simply settle for looking through the viewport that Zephyr creates. Your view is obscured, but you are able to see somewhat into the chamber. Through what blurry vision you have, you see a fairly large chamber, fairly similar to the one that Subject Delta is in. This one a little bit smaller, but you can see what appears to be some distant fencing concealing a very large tower of some kind. And you see a few, what, Caro, you're immediately able to recognize as very, very, very dead trees. The ground is covered in snow, and again, your vision is restricted and blurry, but you don't see any movement, and as you guys keep your ears peeled, you don't hear anything.
Oh. We lost him.
Their internet must have crapped. Well, it's okay. We're focusing on the three of you right now, so we'll continue. Neon? Well, so real quick, Zephyr and Caro, anything you guys want to do with what little you were able to see, or you just going to see what Neon's doing?
Outside.
What if break the window?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what if crash the glass?
Hey, we'll see better, right?
Yeah.
Neon, you hear the two of them coming up with a very bad idea.
Well, my senses are
Knock
tingling.
yourselves out. Why not? Why not?
It's like you hear a very bad idea.
So wait, why are they looking through here? What did they hear?
Well, they didn't hear anything. It's just Neon's looking at the computer, and the whole point was to come through here because of radio towers in this area. So Caro and Zephyr just figured while Neon was working with the computer, they would like take a look around, and they're having a hard time seeing through the window. So they pretty much all elected to break it. All right. So who's going to be doing the deed and how?
Somebody have a
That's all
hammer.
our strength. My strength is +3.
My strength is -2.
I'll do it.
All right. Although I'll say Zephyr, you can help them if you want.
Sure, I guess.
The frog is also stronger than Caleb. Caleb has -1 to strength.
Yeah.
Ooh, not 20.
Oh shit! All right.
Going.
Fuck
Shot
that
the
glass
fuck
up.
out of that window.
Like, mess that glass up.
All right, Neon, as you're getting ready on the computer does appear to be functioning, so you just turn it on and start waiting for it to warm up because it has been next to a frozen room for quite some time. Although it does appear to be functioning at least.
At least there's that.
Caro, you kind of using your crossbow to avoid touching it with your bare skin, kind of give a few experimental prods at the glass to kind of test its durability. From what you can feel, it appears to be very heavily, like basically it's so heavily frosted that it does that thing that car windows do, where it has become very vulnerable as a result. Zephyr, you did help give them advantage, right?
Believe so, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure so that I knew to flavor it properly. Back with your crossbow, and Zephyr, you kind of hop up to give them assistance, and the two of you using Caro's the butt of Caro's crossbow as a battering ram, just and even you guys down in the library hear the sound of glass shattering as this frozen frosted glass gives way, creating this massive gaping hole in the screen-like window that had been blocking you. And all of you are immediately greeted with heavy winter winds as the as it all it clears up after a minute, but you all now are exposed to this winter wonderland on the other side of the window. Caro and Zephyr. Oh, go on.
Neon just kind of like straightens up and just like doesn't even turn around to look, and just like kind of slumps over onto the desk, like pinching the bridge of their nose. Like,
Hey, you said
Where
we
does
could
the
do it.
fox pinch the bridge of their nose.
They pinch the in-between.
Yeah. Yeah, the top
They
of
have
their
the long.
nose.
They have a snoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it pinches the snoot.
Place between your eyes.
The long
Yeah.
nose.
All right. Having a better view now, the two of you take another
Caleb
look.
is also going to clamber up there and be like, "What is going on?"
Broke the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cold.
Why did you break the window?
Oh, it's cold, is it? I
She
wonder
climbs-
why that is.
She climbs up onto Garo and huddles. Well, we couldn't see.
Caleb's like, "Oh, I mean, you didn't do anything to stop it. It seems like."
You know, I thought I could have some faith in the other people in this group. I figured maybe they were just joking.
They were
wouldn't
just
actually do
joking.
it. Maybe they'd actually they'd gain
That's,
some sense at the last moment.
oh,
I wouldn't have to do anything.
that's where
But
you're.
how wrong I
I
was.
was like, that's where you were mistaken.
Caleb is just laughing.
All
Okay,
right.
Garo, let's go out into the winter wonderland.
Garo kind of shakes their head, kind of side to side, and starts to hop up, being very careful not to step on any of the broken frosted glass. And looking down,
You
it
need to make
appears
dexterity saves, not step on a piece of glass.
with Garo's like dexterity and like the fact that again you have relatively like you guys have time, you're not like trying to be super fast. So I'd say that usually in these situations, like if it can be avoided, as long as you have time, you probably will. With that, Garrow kind of glances down, and Caro and Zephyr, as well as Caleb, if you like, kind of looking through the broken viewing hole now as Neon. You see,
Neon what?
as Neon presumably returns to their work on the computer. You all look down to see appears to be about a 20-foot drop to the ground. But again, like the fall's not. Basically, as long as you're careful or maybe have a way down, it shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, you definitely get the impression nobody was meant to go this way. But
I mean, he can just jump down.
yeah.
They both can just
What's
jump
the
down, to be
rules on
honest.
fall damage in D&D?
There is.
There is. They
What
just
are
can
the
jump
rules?
really far.
I think it's distance, and then
Yeah,
based off
it's based on distance. Yeah. Any fall greater than 10 feet, you'll take a d6 damage for every 10 feet you fell.
So
So
2d6.
theoretically, there is a point where you will just instantly die.
Well, yeah. I
Well,
mean,
that's the same for real life too.
technically. And then, but there was also feather fall. Yeah,
Well,
you
the
just
thing
be
about
like,
real life is any fall can actually be instantly lethal potentially.
well,
Well, hey, for a wizard, that would be the case in D&D too.
Rip.
Well, even wizards have more than 6 health.
Well, if they're low level, basically a 20-foot or further fall could be instantly fatal for a low level wizard or someone whose constitution is their dump stat for some ungodly reason.
well, yeah, I mean, you can get -2, and then your starting health is 6.
Yeah, so there you go. 10-foot fall could instantly kill you.
Imagine being in that situation.
Oh yeah, it sucks. It's the worst. So, as Garrow kind of perches with you on their back, Caro, before jumping down, the three of you cautiously look through the viewing hole, unless Caro, you fully intend to just dive in without looking.
There might be glass down there, and it'll hurt his little beans.
All right.
Wait, his little
Yeah,
bean.
it's like
Yeah, little toe beans.
You mean
Alright.
his pads?
Yeah, foot beans.
His beans.
The three of you looking through the hole in the window, you see a fairly respectably large chamber. Again, very similar to the one that had contained Subject Delta. You see, however, that this one is a lot less sparse than the other one. Whereas Caleb, you had seen a lot of machinery in the opposite one. This one actually contains a lot of trees, although most of them have fallen over, been frosted horribly, and are just very obviously dead. You see a few stones and boulders scattered around, almost creating this like somewhat minimalistic but functional. Almost like someone was attempting to create like a fake forest in here, like a kind of simulation of an environment before whatever happened down here happened. Directly across from you, you all see a fenced-off area with some barbed wire, blocking off access to a very high tower. None of you recognize the design, although those of us in the modern day would recognize this as being akin to a cell phone tower. Caro, this catches your attention. Looking up, you actually see that this place is open top. You can see the through some slight mist of the snow and cold, the ceiling of the cavern. Presumably, this is a opening in the dome-like structure of this building. The tower reaching almost to the top, but not quite. At a glance, that's all you guys can see. Also, Caro, since you're up closer to the front, looking to your left, you can see another fairly large garage door-like structure on the bottom left of this room. With that, is there anything the three of you would like to do?
Can I call out? Can Neon hear me if I call out?
Easily. You're only like a few feet away from them.
we're not far.
Neon,
What?
is that the tower you're trying to call to?
Is it Matthew?
Yeah, kind of puttering over away from the computer for a second to look. Indeed, it is. It appears to be heavily frozen and damaged in places. A few bits of ichor clinging to it, but yeah, it's a radio tower.
That would be the one.
Damaged beyond repair.
What?
Is it broken? Can you tell?
Can I tell, Matthew?
Make an intelligence check.
Okay.
The ice is
Wow,
covering
nat
it.
20.
All right, man. Fucking, you guys are getting some good nat 20s tonight.
For real?
Neon, you give it a look over. You know machinery and mechanics like the back of your hand. It looks bad, but it's actually not as bad as it looks. You estimate that it will need a kickstart, but it does appear like with some very basic repairs, it probably is still functional.
Then still needs some repairs.
Yeah,
If
but
it's
very
broken,
light
it's not
ones.
too broken.
Okay. Do you want to walk over there and fix it?
Why not? Considering there's basically a straight shot here because of
Open window now.
you know.
Well,
Hey.
it worked out.
Our
Matthew,
plan worked out.
Is there a large drop?
Yeah, it's a 20-foot drop, so you guys are either gonna have to find a way down or just take the potential fall damage. And as
I can
So
jump
would
down
that
and I will
be-
give it. I will grab them.
1d6.
You grab them. It'll be
I'll grab
2d6.
yeah, it'd be two because it's a 20-foot drop, so it'd be 2d6.
Yeah.
And one more time, Kara.
I said I'll grab them and just jump down. I can jump that far.
Your strength is relatively high, so easy enough to do.
And I'll point out like,
Which is just a
okay,
flat
don't
1d6.
don't struggle because my skin will hurt you.
I don't need you to take me down. I can get down myself.
Okay. I grab Neon then.
He's like,
Is
you're
it just a
coming.
flat
Well,
d6 roll, or is
your
there
skin
something
is
that
what?
gets added to it?
Yeah, it's just a plain 2d6.
Don't worry, it
And,
won't hurt you through your clothes.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
I wonder if he could use his mech.
I could, but I mean, this is already happening.
Sorry.
Alright.
What is he doing?
Caro is literally just gonna pick up, like, hoist Neon over their shoulder and jump down because as a levelander, they have a better jumping speed than most people. So, or not
I
jumping
can
speed, but,
literally,
like, jump.
I can literally jump 25 feet without like rearing up or anything.
Yeah, so yeah, you're perfectly fine. Caro, you carefully hoist Neon, who's a lot lighter than you expected, over your shoulder, and with a slight croak, you hop off of Garo, and land in the snow and carefully deposit the kitsune next to you.
If she could cry, would probably see a small tear in her eyes from the
Yes.
snow.
Alright.
Does Garo have a climbing speed, Caro?
Let me check. What?
Does the tiger
my
have
book.
Your book? Does the tiger have a climbing speed? That'd be interesting.
I believe tigers can't climb.
Yeah. He has pounce, but that's like 4.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
listed on
Yeah.
his movement speed if he has a climbing speed.
Yeah, it'd be next to the.
Oh, climbing
movement
speed is 40 feet, so yeah.
Okay,
he
so yeah,
can
so
get
so
down.
Garo can get down without issue. So
That's pretty
Garo gives a slight bounding leap, careful not to land at the direct base of the window because broken glass, and gently runs up behind you and kind of scoops you up off the ground, kind of rolling you over their head so you can sit on their back and not have to have your bare, sticky, cold feet in the snow.
I'm gonna look up and to Caleb and ask, do you want to come down here too?
He shoots you in the fucking.
Caleb.
Bang.
This man is dead.
Oh. Caleb.
Caleb?
What?
Kara was asking if you wanted help getting down.
Yeah, if you want to come
I
down.
think I'll just watch you from up there.
Okay.
All right. Zephyr, you said you had a way of getting down.
I was thinking like, should I? But like, why not? Why not be here? Yeah, I will climb down.
Okay. Do you have a climbing speed or a way of getting
It
down?
doesn't count the like. Does the range of using like a gun or ranged weapon count the down
Yes.
distance or just the...
Yes, it does.
Yeah. However, I figure it would be worth noting. Yes, it does count that distance. However, being at an elevated position will give you advantage to your ranged attacks if they're within range. So, for instance, if you were to use your musket, if they were at the long range for it, you would still basically it would become a flat roll because of the advantage of your height mitigated by the long distance of the shot.
Okay. So basically, Caleb can hit up to its max range without disadvantage from this elevated position. Right?
Yeah, but and if something gets closer to you and you're still elevated, then you outright make a shot with advantage.
Okay.
All right. And Zephyr, how are you getting down?
I mean, he's gonna climb down. I don't exactly have a climbing speed. I have second story work though.
Okay, yeah, I'll allow that. You, along with Garrow, carefully make your way down, just as discomforted by the snow on your feet, but you quickly join the other members of the short squad. As Caleb, I presume you get your gun at the ready and basically just get ready to act as a sniper to give them cover fire.
Basically, it's like XCOM 2. I'm on Overwatch.
All right, sounds good. Do you want to make a perception check?
Sure.
Go for it.
Here we go.
Here we go.
17 in total.
All right. Taking a look around, the chamber appears to be empty, although looking up at the walls, you do see a few big splotches of ink, one of which appears to be like bubbling and dripping actively, but otherwise nothing in the room particularly draws your attention.
How far is that, Caleb?
It's way up on the ceiling. In total, it's across the chamber from you, which is a distance of, let me check here. Just a moment, sorry. So yeah, you'd be about here. It's the chamber across from where you're standing is a total of 115 feet, and it appears to be about 50 feet up the wall.
Okay.
So it's also above him, so...
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to come back to them, don't worry.
Keep an eye on it and see if it does anything else other than drip.
Noted. Cian and Gil with Raccoon on your back. As you guys heard the sound of glass shattering, Caleb left in a hurry with the bag of holding to pursue whatever the sound was. And the small construct simply stays hovering where it is.
Caleb's gonna ask the small construct if they can go down there and keep an eye on the ones that are down there.
Okay.
First.
The ones that went through the window.
All right. So Caleb kind of briefly heading back down to ask the construct robot.
Are you saying that's
still downstairs?
What he was saying?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is that like it had stayed downstairs because you hadn't given it the order to follow. But don't worry, you already like did your check, so you can just like head back up and do what you were doing.
I think Amanda, Amanda wants to say something.
The machine.
Caleb will run down to give it that order.
Mm-hmm. All right, and it promptly kind of like gives a slight aerial hop and quickly hovers across the room to join you and start heading upstairs. However, Lucian, you said you had something you wanted to ask Caleb, and you see them come downstairs to grab the machine briefly.
Just really, really quick, Caleb. Could I possibly put these books in your bag until I can take a look at them? Because I know we're like super busy right now, and I don't have time to like sit here and finger through all of them as much as I would like to. But we should investigate what is going on. But please, could I please put my books in your bag, please?
Okay.
Really?
Caleb will open the bag and let him put the books in.
Right. Lucian, I will say, giving the library a kind of cursory glance over, since you haven't like stopped to read any of them yet, you see a lot of folders and binders, presumably just paperwork. You see a few loose folders and with sheets of paper in them, And you see a few. You do see quite a few books. However, almost all of them appear to be fiction, likely for the entertainment of the staff staying here.
So.
Is there anything non-fiction? Fiction is a waste of my time.
Make an investigation check with disadvantage because you're in a hurry.
Not one. You don't see anything.
You don't even see books. Books disappear from your vision.
What's a book?
You have a hot flash and go blind for a second.
That's one of my favorite ways to flavor a nat
14?
1 perception. All right. Looking around, you know nonfiction books jump out at you. However, I will say with a relatively decent check, you get the impression that, yeah, it would be a little... basically, remember, you remember on the map that this was labeled Enrichment Center? And it's right next to a few people's personal quarters. It's warm, it's cozy. While this is being used as impromptu storage for loose paperwork, it doesn't appear like you don't imagine any like really notable like nonfiction would be stored here, as that would likely be like more official storage elsewhere. So almost all of the books, books you can find here are simply like stories for the entertainment of the staff, so they don't go insane staying down here.
Okay, then I will take the notebooks and the folders and the pieces of paper that I find, and I can just sort through the paperwork later because paperwork is also important.
All right, sounds good. So you quickly start to just knock everything into the bag. Caleb, it's startling, but you get used to it that the bag does not get any heavier as binders and folders are like just emptied into it. But eventually, Lucian, you're relatively confident that you've cleared the bulk of this place's just kind of unimportant or relatively unimportant side paperwork. And looking around, everything else appears to either be fiction or just loose scraps, so you don't feel like you've missed anything super important. Do the two of you want to join Caleb in heading upstairs or stay down here?
So one last thing that I want to do in the library, you said they're mostly non-fictional. I mean, mostly fictional. But do I see anything within the areas of what my father might have been interested in?
Not that you can see. Outside of like a story where a necromancer is the villain, nothing particularly like grabs you.
I'll take that one, and then I will go.
All right, sounds good. All right. Taking one fiction book and depositing it into the bag. Gil, are you good to head upstairs as well?
Yeah.
All right. The three of you, with Raccoon and the small robot in tow, start to head upstairs. And Caleb, on your order, as you take up your overwatch position with your musket once more, the three of you down at the bottom saw Caleb leave briefly before, after only about a minute, returning with Lucian and Gil. And the small machine, Caleb, did you ordered it to go with them, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the small machine flies down and hovers alongside you, Neon, and just kind of stares at you and tilts its head slightly. Lucian and Gil, since your power little internet outage happened while I was describing, you find Neon, Caro, Garo, the machine, and Zephyr are 20 feet down. You're currently in what appears to be a metallic hallway with a now broken window leading out into a snow-covered chamber that stretches up high into the sky, and you can actually see an open top like leading into the cavern. But directly across from the window that was broken, which you presume is what's gotten the group's attention, you see a fenced-off area covered in barbed wire with a large tower, akin to the cell phone towers we have in real life, behind that fence with a few machines scattered around it. And looking around, you see a bunch of dead trees and loose rocks. Other than that, and a large garage door-like structure to the left that appears to be closed. With that, Lucian and Gil, is there anything notable you'd like to do before we cut back to the small squad?
I want to try to catch up with the shorty squad.
All right, do you have a way down? Because the jump will hurt you a bit if you don't have a way of slowing your fall.
I'll look at Gil. You know what? I think it is worth it. I can heal us. It is going to hurt a lot, but do you want to jump?
Is Caleb going down?
Caleb is staying up. He's on Overwatch.
Why don't you stay with Caleb? That way we don't have him all alone.
Okay, I can.
And then he'll jump. Oh, well, he'll leave Raccoon with. He's gonna leave Raccoon with Lucian and Caleb as well.
Okay.
And then he's gonna jump.
All right. Make me a dexterity saving throw.
That would be an 18.
All right. You take 7 damage from the fall, but you manage to narrowly avoid the broken glass at the base of the wall. You all watch as Gil kind of perches up onto the broken windowsill before jumping and landing, and it definitely didn't get him off completely scot-free, but Gil appears tough enough to withstand the fall relatively well. He doesn't twist his ankle or anything. He seems like he held it together
Supposed to
pretty
roll
good.
when you land.
Oh, am I?
You didn't know that?
It was sarcasm.
Oh.
All right, so Caleb, Lucian, and Raccoon up at the top. Gil, you join the short squad. Short squad in the Western Enrichment Center. What would you all like to do? The snow swirls around you, the distant radio tower looming high over your heads, and Caleb, you carefully watch that bubbling ink puddle on the wall, high up on the ceiling. Well, ceiling, quote unquote, just very high up on the wall, essentially.
Well, I have a problem here. There's a problem here.
What?
Gil does not reach the requirements of short squad. He doesn't.
The shorty squad and their guardian.
And their guardian. Really no guardian.
Yeah, I'm just imagining a really small, like, neon Caro and Zephyr, like, chibi, with Gil just having a bunch of child leashes strapped to him.
Wow. We all revert to our primal states, and we bury him. We bury Gil up to his neck in the snow and start dancing around him. Hookah chaka, hookah. Set him on fire.
Set him on fire.
All right. So short squad and friends. What are you guys gonna do? The snow swirls around you. The dead trees
sounds like
just
the new
creaking.
Animated series, Short Squad and Friends.
I'd watch it. All right. So what are you guys doing?
I'm heading straight for the radio tower, or as straight to the radio tower as I could manage.
Yeah, he'll just follow Dion.
And I'm gonna follow, but keep guard and be very observant.
Okay.
Will follow as well, and by that I mean Garo will follow as well.
All right. Okay. So Neon, I'm presuming this puts you at the front. So I have the marching order in mind. All right. So you all start to carefully head across the chamber. Your progress isn't like crazy slow because you guys didn't say you wanted to be particularly slow or stealthy. But looking around,
that was our first mistake.
You see nothing but the stones, the dead trees. Neon, you kind of have to briefly hop a knocked over and frozen fallen tree. And Caro, now that you're in it and looking around, it definitely, the metal walls like break the illusion heavily, but the open top, the trees, the rocks, it definitely looks like they were trying to. It almost gives you vibes of like a zoo, like a deeply sterile and fake environment for which to contain animals. And Garrow kind of cautiously paws at one of the trees, almost like if they're curious if those are fake too. But the tree does kind of creak slightly with the definite air of deeply frozen and dying wood. You all
Maybe
follow.
this would have been nice if it wasn't so cold. Oof.
That's what we're here to fix.
Yeah.
Neon, you approach the gate. Make me a perception check if you don't mind.
Well, maybe I do mind, but I'll do it anyway.
I do mind, but I'll do it because I want to.
Another nat 20.
Man,
while
you
he
got-
does that,
Oh, go
What?
on.
What?
while he does that, could I pull the papers and paperwork that I just got and just start reading through them?
Sure. Are you skimming or reading in depth, just for future reference?
I am reading.
All right. So Caleb, as you and Raccoon are keeping watch, Lucien kind of puts their back to the wall and just starts to kind of flip through some of the paperwork retrieved from your bag of holding. You continue to monitor the ink blotch on the wall as Raccoon keeps an eye on the group themselves, and your robot companion hovers over their heads in tow. And Neon, with a natural 20, fucking look at you. You notice three things right off the bat that catch your attention. First, you do see there is some physical damage to the tower, but that won't that's more of a structural damage. It should still function despite that. You do see what more clearly now that you're close up what is probably damaging it. You see a computer monitor off to the side, seemingly a terminal that is just kind of built into the ground. And a few of those kind of contained power lines, which you imagine there was likely some damage to those that you can't see them, but again, at a glance, it appears to be easily fixed. You just have to get access to the power box and fix a few wires, basically. However, two other things catch your attention. One, you hear a very, very slight hum in the air, and kind of acting on a slight theory, you see a slight rock of a somewhat smaller stone at your feet, and you give it a kick towards the fence, and as it impacts it, a flash of electricity. So you definitely know the fence is electrified, and looking over to your right, you actually see there is a loose bit of dirt where the snow has been scrubbed away to the right outside the fence. So you have access to it. It's just this scrubbed away patch of dirt as if something had been buried there. So as the fence is electrified, you can see the power box where you likely will need to make your repairs, and you see this loose patch of dirt. You also see that there is a lock on the fence itself. And with the nat 20, I will say, kind of looking up, you also see the bubbling ink puddle above your heads that Caleb was keeping an eye
on. Well, that's a bit unnerving. The power box, it's on the other side of the fence?
Yeah, you'll have to figure out a way through or over it or something to get to it. But the loose patch of dirt is on the outside, so you do have access to that if you want to check it out.
And you really want me to go check out that loose patch of dirt, don't you? What landmine have you hidden in it? Huh?
It's more because I know you don't have a map in front of you, so I want to make it clear that you don't have to open the fence to get to it.
Oh, yeah? You sure there's not an Ichor beast buried in there? Huh?
I didn't say there wasn't.
Matthew? You know what? Maybe I just will go dig up that loose patch of dirt with my clawsies.
I'm sorry if it actually felt like I was pushing you too far in that direction.
No, I'm just I'm busting your chops.
All right. So those of you in the all of you can see this, but those of you in the chamber are obviously closer. Watch as Neon bends down and starts to dig through the loose dirt, and yeah, as you start digging through it, Neon, yeah, it is definitely very loose. It has definitely been disrupted. And as you start digging, it doesn't take you too long of digging to find what appears to be a like plasticine metallic handle that you can grip and pull if you wish.
Nah, I think I'm good. Nah, I'll pull it.
All right. It's a bit heavy, but you start kind of pulling against the snow, and you all watch
Felt it
as
in your bones, Matthew.
you all watch as Neon starts to slowly pull free this massive metallic, almost silo, but like very small. Like I'd say, like if it was stood on one side, standing up, it's probably about 5 foot tall, and about 1.5 foot across. As Neon, it's heavy, but especially once you get some leverage on it, you start to pull it free and leave it sitting in the snow. As you look, you guys look over it, there appears to be 2 similar handles on both sides of it, and a metallic sliding door. But as Neon, you kind of give an experimental push, it appears to be locked.
Can I break the lock?
Well, no, like it's just locked, but like these are like more advanced mechanics, so it's not like a physical lock that you can see.
Oh.
Can I hack the lock?
There doesn't appear to be any technology other than like the internal mechanics involved. Like it's not digital. Although I will say, Gil, you can attempt to brute force it if you want. Neon, I will say, since you pulled on the handle, you did note that the handle had a slight give to it, as if you could twist it.
Yeah, I'm going to brute force it.
All right, make me a strength check. I'll say at disadvantage because the metal is freezing cold, and you're not, and it's like a completely smooth surface.
15.
Neon, you watch as Gil starts to push on the frozen door, and Gil, as you push on it, your hands keep like slipping. You feel like if you got a firm grip, you probably could brute force it open, but it's a completely smooth and rounded surface. So you're especially with the frost and dirt covering it, you're having trouble getting a firm enough grip to brute force it open without any leverage. But Neon, it sounded like you were about to say something as well.
No, I was just trying to think of what I could do to get it open, because I want to open it.
I guess I will look at it. I will look at this little thing, silo.
I have an idea.
What?
Matthew, I want to use my axe, my fucking, what was it, ionic battle axe or something like that?
That is correct.
Yeah, I want to see if that can't lightsaber open just the side of it.
Make an attack roll. Because this thing is frozen, I'll give you advantage.
All right. That'll be an 18.
All right, Gil, as you kind of step back and rub your hands to get some of the freezing dirt and mud off of it, you all watch as this is another weapon that you have not seen Neon pull yet. Neon pulls free what appears to be a dark metallic black battle axe, but the bladed tips of it are like you can hear, those of you in the chamber can hear a hum of energy as the the metallic tips of the axe glow with a bright orangish yellow energy. And and indeed, as Neon, you kind of give it a quick spin in your hand, it kind of boom through the air, and you slice open the front of the silo, and you and Gil start to push with Zephyr approaching to take a look at it as well. And you basically open it in such a way to where you two just pushing on opposite sides of it brings each side together, as you can hear the whine of metal, of melted metal straining as you stretch it further by twisting this thing open. And as the two sides meet, you are able to see the contents. All of you look inside. I will say, Neon, since you opened it, you'll get first dibs on the items, but if you don't have any preference, then it's first come, first serve. Looking inside, you see a couple things that get your attention. It's not super packed, but it still catches your attention enough to be worth noting. you see another stash of coins similar to the one Caleb had found. In this one, doing a count, there appears to be about 1,300
1,300 what?
100 what?
Yeah.
silver coins.
They really like their silver coins around here.
Mm-hmm.
The way those werewolves, you know?
And Neon, looking into the other side, it had been slightly damaged with your method of opening it, so you imagine some of them may be broken, but you see syringes, and each syringe, some of which have been broken, are filled with bubbling ink.
Well,
I inject myself with it. No, I'm kidding. I wonder what would happen if I did.
oh, one
You
way
can
to
find
find
out.
out. Yeah,
Like,
only one way to find out.
Who was it that sounded like they had to take a mean shit?
So there's, or not gold, silver, and some syringes.
Yeah, a bunch of them have been broken by your axe, but yeah, and each syringe appears to
This place
contain.
will never have to worry
ichor.
about we'll never have to worry about werewolves.
Yeah,
And that's all that's in there?
yeah, that you can see. Yeah.
All right.
Do the rest of us see this?
Yes, but Neon gets first dibs on grabbing some of it, just because they opened the chest, so it's only fair.
I do want to take one of the syringes. I actually do.
Okay. Neon, you kind of carefully reach in, and you slide what appears to be a protective glass screen, and you can hear a hiss and feel some cold air against your hand. It reminds you of like where they keep medicine in hospitals, where they keep it in that really cold area to keep them fresh. And you cautiously reach in and pull a syringe free. And looking over it, you see
Don't ever fall over on it.
Yeah. Doing a quick count, it looks like about 3 of them were broken or compromised by your axe, but in total you see 7 syringes appear to still be fresh. Grabbing the one closest to you and looking it over, you see there's actually some Elvish writing on it, and you said you can read Elvish, I believe, yes?
I can.
On it is written Alpha.
Ooh, I'm taking those syringes.
All right, so you're just gonna take the lot.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I can hear you flipping through your notes. You want to know which ones, what is written on each syringe?
Yes, please.
All right, so you grab 7 in total. Here's the ones you have: Alpha, Beta, Charlie, Delta, Foxtrot, Gamma, and Epsilon, and Zeta.
Decent alpha.
I'm sorry, could you repeat after Charlie? You were kind of a little fast.
Who's finding these, so Neon can go over them with you later, because Lucian doesn't see this anyway. Alright, so you got all that, Neon?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. It appears the remaining syringes have been too badly damaged. 2 of them are broken completely, and one of them doesn't appear to be broken, but it's covered in ichor that leaked from the others, and you really don't want to chance it, but you can grab it if you want.
I was going to ask, would I be able to, like, preferably without touching them, would I be able to see what the others, the broken or compromised ones, are labeled?
The 2 that are broken, the glass was shattered, as was the label. Because it's basically like written on them directly, rather than just having a like sticky label to them. However, the one that's just coded, it's a bit hard to read, but you estimate that you can only see the last 2 letters, so it's either Delta or Theta.
Well, I'd imagine it's probably Theta due to process of elimination.
Yeah, but just those are the only ones that you reason could be.
So it ended
like,
with Ta.
yeah, but it was too long to be Zeta, so it had to be Delta or Theta.
All right.
That's all you can make out, and yeah, there's the silver coins on the on essentially the other. Basically, if you had opened this properly, it was basically this like cooling unit for the ichor samples, and just a horde of coins.
Well, you can take the coin if you want.
All right, Gil, Zephyr, Caro, the three of you want any of you want the coins?
I mean, Zephyr will
It's gonna be like
some.
throwing a piece of gum in the middle of a school.
Oh yeah. All right. So, Caro, do you want
You
some?
must all fight to the death for the silver.
I mean, except for taking, she'll be like, okay.
I mean, you'll take all of them. You just take some. Divide it.
Gil, do you want to partake in some as well?
Sure.
All right. Although, yeah, Zephyr does note that that they plan to divide it later.
So I took it all. How much money was it? 2,000.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Gil, since Zephyr pointed out that they plan to distribute it later, do you want to just let Zephyr take it, or do you still want to grab some?
Yeah, I'll let him take it because he's planning to distribute everything.
Well, I wouldn't say everything.
The coins, at least. And hey, Zephyr could be lying, but yeah. Zephyr, yeah, in total, here, let me pull it back up. Yeah, 1,300 silver, so 1,300.
Alright. 1,300 added.
You got a lot more gold than I did.
I mean, you still have more gold than I do, so.
Yeah, so 1,300 silver. Alright. So, other than that, the silo itself is compromised. With
I just realized this tuxedo Caleb's gonna be like a fucking 14-year-old James Bond at this rate.
Alright, so what do you guys want to do? As Zephyr, you grab the silver, and Neon, you grab the Ichor samples. The silo itself is compromised. What do you guys want to do?
I'm going to go back to the electric fence and utilizing my demonstrated skills earlier, I'm going to dig a hole under the fence.
Okay. Yeah, so you don't have a designated burrowing speed. I'll say make me a athletics check, because digging is not an easy process by any means.
All right, I'm horrible at athletics. Let's do it. 17. Fuck yeah. Ow! I hurt my thumb. I snapped so hard that it hurt my thumb. How the fuck do I do that?
Hey.
I've been there. If it makes
What
you
were
feel
you
better.
doing?
I've heard it.
It felt like a rubber band snap. That's what it felt like.
That sucks. I've been there.
I've heard of someone who like jazzed hands so hard they dislocated their hand for a second.
God damn! What were they jazz handsing?
That's not jazz hands. That's like death metal hands.
Yeah, for real, man.
All right.
I bet you there's somebody who's thrown out their back head banging before.
Oh, no doubt.
So, Neon, you begin to dig. It's not going to be a fast process, but you're confident with, especially if you use the hole you just dug with the silo as kind of a starting point. You could do it, but it'll take some time. But you all watch as Neon begins to dig. Does anyone want to
Scooby-Doo?
Does anyone want to do anything?
I'm gonna say while he does this, I want to look at the fence.
Okay.
Look at my sword. Look back at the fence. And I want.
Yeah, so Neon, as you start digging, everyone you see...
This Caleb and Lucian see him.
Yeah, I was going to say, all of you can see, although Lucian's reading, so they can only hear this, but all of you, sans Lucian, see Gil approach, kind of consider for a moment, and make a swing at the fence. And Neon, a stray thought passes through your head of just like, boy, I sure hope nobody tries to swing a metal object at an electrified fence.
Because he has no idea what electricity even means.
I know. Gil, you swing, you make contact, and everything goes dark.
Oh, you make contact.
Everything goes dark. What?
All of you watch as soon as Gil's flame tongue makes contact with the fence, Gil's body starts to aggressively shake and seize before...
I like how, Matthew, are you acting it out?
Yes, I am. And you all watch as Gil and his flame tongue go flying like 30 feet away. Gil, you take 28 lightning damage, and until someone takes an action to wake you up, unconscious.
Oh, there goes the flame tongue.
Jesus Christ, he took a lot of
Please don't
damage.
go down there.
Neon immediately like sits straight up and just.
I'm reading.
You fucking
I'm
idiot.
reading away.
Yeah, you just hear.
I go over to Caleb. What is that sound?
Freaking Neon is probably, you fucking idiot, mate.
Yeah, Neon.
Fucking idiot, mate.
As Neon and Lucian, you poke your heads up from your respective hidey holes. Yeah, you see Gil's body laying unconscious 30 feet away, his sword
Is he
15 feet away
smoking?
from him. Yes, his body is smoking at the fingertips.
Yeah, his hair is all like.
Yeah, his hair is messed up.
Don't even think about it. I will put my stuff away in Caleb's haversack, and I'm going to jump down there and go to him.
Alright, make me a dex save.
Nat 1. And then we lose our cleric, too.
No, we're fine.
Mm, 21.
Alright, that'll do it. Similar to Gil, you
In
take the advice-
hindsight, that's the dumbest thing Gil has ever done in hindsight.
Well, yeah, in his defense, like you said, he has no idea what electricity is.
That's why I said in hindsight.
Yeah. So Lucian, you take the advice Caleb gave earlier and roll when you land. You take 3 damage, but avoid the broken glass. So you take 3 damage from the fall, and immediately all of you who are just like in shock as Gil is just
in shock.
In shock. Nice one, Matthew.
Lucian, you bolt over with a lot of
Bolt
energy.
over? You're
And,
all over the place, Matthew.
with lightning speed, you
Yeah, you're on a roll. He's on a roll now.
with thundering steps, you make your way over to the unconscious Gil. Gil, you kind of put a hand to his neck. He is alive, but hurt and unconscious. But you estimate he could be woken up with some effort.
Okay.
Honestly, should.
I'm just gonna kind of. I'm gonna take my hand and I'm gonna pull it back as far back as I can, and I'm gonna fucking bitch slap his ass. And what I do?
Why would
I'm
you
going
do?
to,
Shouldn't you slap his face?
Cry out to Jiva.
Oh my god.
I want to cry out to Jiva. Wake him up, please! And I will cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level.
All right. Go ahead and
So
roll
you
how
should
much he
slap
heals.
his face, not his ass.
Honestly, you should leave him asleep. He's less of a danger to himself and, by extension, us.
Rip.
Rip Gil.
I mean, honestly, what did you think was going to
Honestly,
happen?
you gotta give him inspiration for that.
Hitting an electric fence with a metal object. What did you think was going to happen?
Who knows? Maybe it wasn't active.
That would be 12 points of
What?
healing.
Alright.
12.
Gil, you heal for 12 of the damage you just took. As Lucian, you don't feel the slap, Gil, but you all watch as Lucian basically slaps Gil while doing their divine prayer, and Gil's head rocks to the side, and a bunch of
He's probably got
smoke.
cramps now too from all
Yeah.
the contractions.
A bunch of smoke comes out as Gil, you're suddenly awake. The last thing you remember was going to swing your flame tongue in the hopes of cutting through the fence while Neon dug. And now you kind of perk your head up, and you are 30 feet away, flat on your back, and your body hurts like hell.
Am I dead?
Unfortunately, no.
No, we didn't get that lucky.
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
We didn't get that
That's-
lucky. Damn, this
The
is
intro's
turning to
very
roasting
nice.
Gil. Literally.
Wait a minute. Did you just call Lucian an angel?
He's not sure what he's saying right now.
Yeah, to be fair, he just got a
Probably stars.
shit ton of voltage.
That probably would have killed him.
Lucian just kind of looks at him and blinks a little bit, and she kind of pats his
That is-
cheek a little bit more. A little nicer
Whoever made
this
that
time.
electric fence wasn't fucking
I
around.
think you're a little delusional right now, Gil.
Stop.
Can't work?
Why don't you try again? Maybe it'll work
What
this
were you
time.
trying to do?
Yeah, go ahead.
Don't tempt him.
Don't like his character. You're saying that the
I
players
think
say
if he
that.
did that again, it might actually kill him.
No, I don't think it'll kill him. Gil has a lot of HP. Barbarian.
It might knock him unconscious.
I don't think it will.
So I will note that part of the reason the damage was so high is because I actually had this set aside. I just didn't think anyone would do it, where the damage was automatically critical because he hit it with a metal object that was still in his hands.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Also, you know, the snow is wet, so
Do you look like you need more healing, Gil?
It looks like he could use it, but he's going to brush it off and say, I'm okay. And he wants to inspect the fence.
Make a perception check.
I assume without touching
Oh,
it.
and
this
picking up
time.
his sword.
All right,
He's
so
not leaving his sword behind.
all right. You go and
As
grab
he
your
goes
sword.
by, I'm going to like slap him in the back and cast another Cure Wounds, this time at first level.
All right, go ahead and roll for the healing.
And you said investigation?
Perception.
Oh, even better.
21.
21.
Okay. And Lucian healing.
10.
Okay. Gil, you heal for that much health. As you pick up your sword, your body hurts and your movements are kind of stilted and sluggish as your whole body is cramped violently. And you, without touching it, cautiously approach and look over the fence. You do see a visible mark where your sword had impacted briefly, but it doesn't appear to have seriously damaged the integrity, as you basically got blown away from the fence as soon as you made contact.
Matthew, you work electronics. Have you ever
Interesting.
been electrocuted before?
A couple times, but nothing serious.
Like a little jolt. I've always thought about trying
Down
about getting
here.
tased. What that feel like?
What would it feel like to get tased?
Yeah.
Since I'm down here, I go join the shorty squad.
Alright.
Leave him alone
Just
for
thinking.
a minute.
Think to myself, shoot Lucian.
Neon, real quick, do you want to go back to digging?
You can
He
Oh, yeah,
just
I'm
has
still digging.
murderous.
Diggy, diggy, hole.
Alright, yep.
Diggy, hole.
Neon heads underground
I am
to dig a
the
tunnel,
one
dig a
digging.
tunnel.
Hey.
So Neon protecting the fence. What are the rest of you doing?
Let's just get copyrighted by the fucking Nox cat.
Yeah. You can always cut it. Always cut it out.
Mouse, yeah. I will go over to the shorty squad and just be like, well, aside from Gil trying to kill himself, what did I miss?
Not much.
Gil trying to kill himself.
What you missed is in that capsule over there.
Yeah, like I said, not much.
I want to go look over that capsule.
Inside, you see a cut open and empty small silo. The only notable thing you see is some shattered syringes and one coated in what appears to be bubbling and fresh liquor.
Is there any? Did you guys find any syringes that were not broken?
7 of them. Wait, 7, right? Yeah, 7.
Yeah, 7.
Could I take a look at them, please?
Sure, why not?
All right, Neon, you stop your digging briefly to hand the syringes up to Lucian before returning to your tunnel.
Dig a ton.
Can I know them now?
Yeah, so Neon, you have them noted. Do you want to pass on to Lucian what is on the syringes?
Oh, yeah, just so I don't list out all the fucking names. There, like I tell the names.
Well, I don't think she doesn't know them, but
Yeah, she doesn't have them written down. So.
Oh,
that's why she.
Okay, my bad.
For the names, for the names.
Alpha, Beta, Charlie, Delta, Foxtrot, Gamma, Epsilon, and Zeta. Let me know if you want me to repeat.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
As I'm looking at these, trying to because I'm keeping in mind. Aside from the most recent one that they had said that was the most successful one, which one would I assume would be the best one out of these?
The most recent, from what you've gathered already, would be Theta.
Theta was second to last.
Which behind them would be Zeta. Other than that, you don't really have a lot of context on what these mean, but you know that you basically you would know from the structure and what you've been told already that Zeta and Theta are the most recent, with Theta clearly being the most stable.
I just remember something.
Sorry to bother you while you're taking, officer. Do you mind if I hang on to these? I would like to very much see these under a microscope.
Fine, I guess. Don't break them.
Yeah. What is Theta doing?
Really? You should be telling Gil those things, not me.
I'm gonna tell you too.
Like, you are both Dylan.
What happened?
Neon is giving Lucian the syringes so that Lucian can analyze them later.
Warning them not to break it.
Yeah.
I will put them in my bag.
Alright.
Gil's gonna be looking in the silo.
Mm-hmm.
He's still curious about that last syringe that was covered in ichor.
Gonna touch it?
It says Joe. And then you scrub off the rest, and it says, Mama, got him.
Yeah, what?
Devil Joe.
Out of curiosity, what's
but
Theta
yes,
doing?
he is going to pick it up carefully.
Okay. You cautiously reach in, careful not to touch the ink and ichor, and start to pull the syringe free. Some of the bubbling liquid drips off of it, just pooling in the snow at your feet as you carefully look it over, kind of spinning it around to let the ichor drip off of it at its own pace. What would you like to do with it?
Well, what does it say? Like, what's the name on it?
As you let some of the liquid get scrubbed away, indeed, Neon, I believe you had guessed this through process of elimination, Theta.
Yep.
I'm going to pocket it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What is Theta doing? It's still back in the library.
Yeah, nobody brought him with them, so as far as you guys know, still in the library.
I look up. Caleb, are you cracking down or what?
Caleb's still just gonna sit up here for now until something either forces him to come down or they come back up.
Yeah.
Caleb's gonna keep
Is
watching
there a way
over
back
them.
up?
You'll have to climb.
I'm not very skilled in climbing, so probably not.
There's also the garage door, but you don't know where that leads.
Go on this whole adventure again.
Well,
and
I memorized the entire thematic. Are you sure I don't know where that leads?
Yes, I was curious if you were gonna use Keen Mind or not. So, yes, as you kind of stop and pause, you would know that garage door leads back into the hallway where you guys had been resting earlier today.
Not that far.
And would that ultimately bring me back to the library, or would it be too far?
Yeah, you would have to get the garage door open, but yes, you could just take the same route you did already, like back through the hallway into that crossroads area where the laboratory door is, through the frozen hallway back into the lobby, and then back into the library from there.
It's a bit of a walk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a jog, but
I don't know if that is smart to do by myself. So I will not do that. I will stay with the shorty squad.
all right. In the meantime, Zephyr and Carol, what are the two of you doing? You've been quiet, so.
I'm gonna walk up to Neon digging his hole. And say, so why did that not Gil back?
Well, you're all hopeless, aren't you? Well, you see, the entire everything in the universe is made out of tiny things called atoms, and
It's a full lecture on.
yeah. And thusly, since there's electricity going through the fence, it hit Gil and it sent him flying back, and likely sizzled some of his nose hairs while he was at it. Huh?
She's asking electricity like lightning because
Oh.
we call those electric storms. So, she would probably make that connection.
Then yes, exactly like that. Just not magical.
Lightning in the fence, huh?
Lightning in the fence.
Well, as far as I know, weather is not magical.
I mean, if you make it appear.
Have you looked around?
I was like, if you make it appear, I think it is technically magical.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you see,
yes, it could be magical, but if it was only manifested. But this, I do not think is magic or manifested.
Well, of course, it's not magic. Everyone knows magic doesn't exist. I mean,
Oh, really? That's interesting. What do you call this? And I cast Sacred Flame into a pile of snow.
It's simply swamp gas.
Science.
The weather balloon.
All
What's
your
up?
stuff has been science. Oh, 8. Oh.
Yeah, almost every continent does.
Does y'all
Which
have what?
gods is it?
Gods. And one more time.
Which gods is it?
That I'm assuming that you control the weather.
Yeah.
Perun, which is also the dominant god, basically the Zeus of this pantheon.
Fair enough.
I'm writing that down. Thank you.
Go for it.
How do you spell it?
Perun. Perun.
Isn't it Slavic gods?
Yes.
They probably could have been influenced by Greek gods because Greece is
You
like
said
right
it's
there.
out of everything?
Well, no. He basically they're the dominant god of this region. Like they're the leader of the pantheon. But they are, to answer his specific question, they are the god of weather, which was what they were specifically asking.
So, like Zeus.
Yeah. All right.
Slap it up with the
In that
mic.
case, you
Or
would say,
Odin.
not magic, it is made by the gods.
All right. Zephyr, what are you doing, if anything?
He's just gonna patiently wait for something to happen.
Okay.
Bound to happen.
Neon, as you have your physics versus magic debate with Caro and Lucian, you're digging relatively fast. You make it about halfway to the fence in your digging before you all hear a very, very distant, and the whole facility actually very slightly shakes, and the artificial lighting in the room you're in, the hallway you're in, Caleb, cuts out.
Matthew.
What's up?
Was it the boiler?
Yes, the boiler just went off.
Yep.
However, Caleb, in the hallway, you can see the computer monitor is actually still on, but the lights appear to have gone out.
Caleb jumps, whips around, pointing his gun behind him, wondering if something's gonna come up behind him or some shit.
At this point, I want to kick a pebble towards the fence.
You kind of find a stone to get the cramps out of your arms and legs before you give it a kick, and the rock falls into the snow, and nothing happens.
He's going to grin, grab his sword again, and swing at the fence again.
I'm going to climb out of my hole and just climb the fence.
All right. Well, remember there is barbed wire at the top.
Oh, there is. Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Yeah, I mentioned there was barbed wire in the description. All right. So you all watch as Gil works out the cramps in their arms by melting and carving through the previously electrified fence. And
Lights come back on, emergency power kicks in.
Yeah. And Neon, you and Gil pull the carved bit of the fence free, and you all now have a entrance into the fenced-off radio tower area.
All through? Who's going through?
Caleb is just going to shout. I don't know. He doesn't know what the others were hearing, but he's going to shout, "We should probably hurry up. I don't know if that's a bad thing."
I know what it was. It was the bomb I left under your desk.
All right. Caleb, Neon seems confident that it's nothing to really worry about, so you return to monitoring the area as everyone funnels through. Neon in the lead, since you're probably going to be the one making the repairs. To your right, you see the computer terminal, and you see what appears to be a fuse box directly ahead of you, and one of those large power stations to the right of that. And in the center is the radio tower itself.
I'm going to hit that fuse box first.
All right. It's not too difficult, especially with it frozen. You snap it open, and you see some of the fuses have been blown by the boiler going off. But again, since now that you've passed through, you see there's a lot of reserve power, just not as powerful. You imagine, again, with some rerouting through the fuse box, you probably could get the radio tower working again. Although you imagine that boiler going off is probably going to make its power a little weak, since while the lights are out, you know that there's probably still some reserve power to other parts of the facility. So it'll be weak, but you can still use it with some repairs.
Well, I'll give it a shot then. Give it the old college try.
All right. Make me a Tinker Tools check.
That I will.
And Gil's going to
22.
keep watching everything.
Okay.
Yeah, Lucian is watching, making sure that the brokers can see everything.
Okay. Caro, Zephyr, what are the two of you going to do with the fence open? Are you going to stay out here, or...
No, we'll go in.
Okay. All right, so you and Lucian head in, allowing the brokers to see what's going on. Is there anything the three of you want to do in particular while Neon does the repairs? I know Gil and Caleb are keeping watch, so Zephyr, Lucian, and Caro, is there anything the three of you kind of want to do while Neon does their repair work?
I thought of something, but I'm not gonna do that. That would be bad. Probably hurt. Yep, Zephyr doesn't have anything. He's just bored.
All right, so you just kind of sit on one of the fallen logs and wait, just kind of kicking your legs irritatedly. Lucian and Caro, what are the two? Yeah, Lucian and Caro, what are the two of you doing?
So what can we see?
You see Neon's currently making repairs to the fuse box. There's a computer terminal to your right, the power box across from you, radio tower in the middle, thanks to Gil carving a hole in the now non-electrified fence. Other than that, you don't see anything around you that hasn't already gotten your attention.
I guess I'll pester Neon about what he's doing.
All right, so Caro, you hear more of Garrow's fuzzy footsteps in the ground behind you as Lucian and Caro/Garrow approach you to watch as you make your repairs.
Can I help you?
I just want to watch.
All right then.
And I just
Yeah,
go
I'd
back
like
to.
to do it, that's okay.
What?
All right, you may watch. Just please don't steal my oxygen.
All right, Neon, how was your Tinker Tools check?
20. No, 22. That's what it was.
All right. It takes you a second, Neon, to kind of figure out what goes to what, but you rub your hands together as this is a relatively simple thing, all things considered. You start flipping switches and breakers, essentially doing some minor adjustments to the power flow to redirect some power to the radio. And sure enough, you flip a few more switches and crank one final switch upwards and pull it back down as essentially a jolt. And it takes a moment before you green light next to the label of radio.
All right, we're back in business.
So green light. I assume that means radio actually works. Yes.
Yeah, as far as the machine knows, the radio tower is working. Most of the damage to the tower was structural, and it was mostly just the fucked up power flow to the facility itself that was damaging its signal. You can make some further checks if you want to be sure that the signal is good, but as far as you can tell, it is at least working.
I want to try and ring up the the commissioner, the head honcho guy. Forget the actual title.
Okay. Do you have a way of using the radio to get into? Yes, I believe. It's just that you didn't get any signal down here.
Yeah.
All right, easy enough to do. There's enough room in here, so you can summon your mech to use the radio there. Lucian and Caro giving you a bit of space to do so. It takes you a minute. There's still a little bit of fuzz, but you don't hear anything yet, but it appears the signal is going through if you want to start speaking.
All right. For the record, he was the commissioner, right? That was the title?
Yeah, commissioner.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Understandable.
Commissioner.
Am I coming in loud and clear?
There's a bit of a delay. With you being underground for so long, you're even more, and without the city itself to give you a reference, you're not 100% sure what time it is anywhere. But after a delay, you do hear a response, not from the commissioner, but from Captain Voter. Cadet Neon, is that you?
Oh, it is, Captain.
The frequency's a little bit off, and you're a bit fuzzy, but I can hear you well enough.
It'll have to do. We've discovered some pretty shocking things down here. Shocking, get it? You know the beasts you were informed of by our new friends here?
Aye?
Well, there's quite a few of them down here in this the frozen cave.
Any casualties, civilian or among your party?
None among our party. There's no one here. Well, no one friendly here.
Data.
Oh wait. Scratch that. There's one friendly here. One of the beasts themselves.
Any information you were able to get out of them?
Plenty. And I'll, just so we're not sitting here
Just
for an
relay
hour.
everything.
I rattle off the information that we were able to glean from Theta.
Okay. Captain Voter is silent for a moment. Okay. I'll make sure that the information gets passed along. Although, Neon.
Yes, Captain.
I know you're not my personal cadet anymore, but can I ask you a favor?
Ask away.
Be careful what you're sharing with the commissioner. Yeah, I don't have anything certain yet, but after everything I heard from you and your friends, I did some digging of my own, and this is just a theory, but you know how long I've been on the force, and I'm concerned that the commissioner may have been compromised.
Are you sure?
Again, just a theory, but all I'm asking is that I'm glad you got a hold of me first. Just the commissioner's panicking about something or other. I'm not sure what you and your friends told him, but his behavior is concerning some of us on the force.
For the record, what did we tell him again? I forget.
Lucian said basically be prepared for an invasion and ready a biohazard containment.
Yeah, that's right. All right, very well. You should be aware, though, the facility we're in was under quarantine, and in exchange for the assistance of our friend here, of our new friend, we needed to break the quarantine.
Shit. Do you know how many escapees there are? How many are down there?
How many, Matthew? That we know of, at least?
Yeah,
like
so
10 or 11?
since you know that Lambda was the newest one, you have not seen Lambda yet, so assuming you're counting Lambda, there is... you heard from Alpha that there's 10 down here. That Alpha knows
So
of.
there's 9 to 10 of them, depending on if Lambda is one of them.
Yeah, so 9 to 10 from what you heard from Alpha and Theta.
And one of them is friendly.
As far as we know, 9 to 10.
Have you eliminated any so far? Reduced their numbers in any way?
Nope.
Did the two that we killed at the beginning of the ice cave count?
You don't know.
Well, we've killed 3. We killed 2 in the ice cave, and then we killed the scarecrow.
Oh yeah, I wasn't there for that, but so technically, we've eliminated 3, but I'm not sure if they're part of the count.
All right.
They were outside
you can,
containment.
there's a slight pause as you imagine voters probably noting all this down. Okay. Anything else pertinent that you think needs to be shared?
No.
I'm thinking. We're going to do what we can to either reinstate a quarantine, which I'm not going to lie, our options aren't too great for that. Or hopefully to terminate the rest of them. But if I could, I'd like to help the one that's been helping us, Theta. He seems to mean well so far. He's done nothing to harm us.
And there was also
Despite
Alpha
nu-
that didn't do anything.
Yeah, but Theta's directly aided us and has asked to be sent back to the city.
And
Despite
Alpha.
numerous opportunities to do so, he never once made a move. Never once made a threatening move towards us.
All right, don't worry. You know the code. No officers will bring harm to them. Do you need backup? Do you need reinforcements? Anything?
Reinforcements would be very much appreciated, considering we are a group of, was it 6?
7 if you count Raccoon.
7. Yeah, that's right, Raccoon. Considering we're a group of 7 versus potentially 9 to 10.
All right. I'll get on it immediately. We can hone in on the signal of whatever you're using to contact us. Just be careful, and if necessary, feel free to hunker down and wait for us. Is there anything else we should know before going in?
I wanna ask the.
Do you think that you should tell him that? Do you think that you should tell him that the facility was ran by the Mr. Smithers and that this is like a Scar Concord thing and how to get here?
I mean, they said they.
I figured that.
That was a bit fuzzy. One more time, Neon.
Well, was it Smithers?
Yeah, Mr. Smithers.
Well, as you know, this place was run by Smithers, but he had a direct, as far as we know, he had a direct hand in running the facility itself, and this is very clearly an operation involving the Scare Concord.
And you can hear the sound of some shuffling as he's likely just like taking that in. And
My thoughts exactly, sir.
we have no idea how many facilities there could be and how many of those are still secure if they're just willing to abandon them like this. Okay.
Tell him that there are several.
As far as we know, there are definitely several.
All right. I'll get some officers on the case for that, and I'll have some reinforcements heading your way. Again, if all else fails, just hunker down and wait for us.
Understood, sir.
All right, over and out. Take care of yourself.
Well, I was gonna say, make sure that they don't go through the one area that's actually full of ichor beasts when they go in through the front doors. You don't want them taking the wrong turn.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and just pass that info along. Again, I'm fuzzy on some info because I wasn't here for a session.
Yeah, it's okay. There's a slight pause, and you worry that he may have left the radio behind, but after a moment he picks up and... Next time, make sure that comes first, Cadet. Over and out.
All right. Well, that
All right, job's
not the
done.
worst it could have gone. So
Job's done. Let's go.
Officer Neon, did it sound like to you that the commissioner may be a part of this somehow? The Scar Concord, or at least know something? Because, like, when we talked to him, you know, he acted surprised.
Or that, or he didn't pass down the chain of command, letting people
That's
know
what I was thinking.
what's going on. So it's a fake suspicion.
Maybe he's a small fish in a
Kind of
big pond.
confirms one of the ideas that I'm having. Officer Neon, do you know anything about the mother?
I don't believe I do, Matthew.
Well, we're referring to what exactly?
To the mother.
The mother's
Oh,
a
the
lady.
mother. Make a history check now. I'll give you advantage because they've been on her case for a while. So.
Okie dokie. Let me give it a shot.
7.
You do know the name. She is the leader of one of the crime families of Edict that simply goes by the family. with Mother being the one in charge. You don't know a whole lot about them as you've never been assigned to any cases involving them, but you know them to be a relatively prolific group of weapons dealers.
The leader of one of the crime families around here, typically deal in weapons.
Yes. I have this suspicion because we were told that she is a big fanatic of the upstairs, as you guys call it. So I'm wondering if maybe somehow she has involved it or has something to do with it. I've been thinking about this for some time since we saw the brokers, and they said that they knew a lot. And I mean, besides being like they like information, and that's great, information is great. But I was wondering if maybe because the mother may be involved, there's more to this than we know.
It's not a bad theory. We'll have plenty of time to investigate when we get back to the town.
Do you want to stay here, or should we go? I mean, I feel like our mission.
I say we go. Yeah, I say we go.
I'd rather still look
Fine.
around. Who knows what we might still yet find.
I say we go.
Could you not tell us if there was a place that you found that portrait of the lady? I would like to look that place.
That's what I wanted to do next. That was my self-imposed secondary objective. I'd like to go there at least one more time before we leave.
Let's do it.
Caleb's like,
And then we'll head out.
we need to be
Get
quick,
Taylor.
probably.
Never will sigh.
Caleb just yelling in the distance.
Yeah, it's Caleb not here.
Don't you think?
What did you
Couldn't
say?
hurt to.
What did you say, Lucian?
I'll hunker down in the house.
That is true.
It's easily fortified.
Here we go. We're done here. We did our job. We can get our questions asked. Yeah.
Yes, but I really, really want to see this place first. And then I agree, yes, we should go. Officer Neon, you are more than welcome to come with us.
I mean, he wants to go there.
Yeah, I'd like to take a look around in the portrait room. I don't know if we had an actual name for the room.
Theta told you that it was the personal living quarters of Smithers himself.
Yeah.
Well, I do have a question then. How do you say we get to this, room we were in before?
I don't know,
Matthew,
you were there, not me.
we're kind of out in the open, yes, Matthew?
Yes,
Like
at the
no
moment.
ceiling?
Mm.
Okay. I will just climb on top of Morrigan and see if I can't look around for that building.
Well, no. Remember, you're in
It's
the
underground.
Western. You're in the Western Enrichment Center. The fields where the house was downstairs.
Yeah, it's down.
Oh, right.
Which is
memorized all those plans, didn't you?
That's true.
So does
Yeah,
that
I
change
did.
things?
So I'm gonna go into my cocaine mind, and I'm going to think about the plans. So the plans, was it just of the facility, or was there any plans of the personal headquarters of Mr. Smithers as well?
There wasn't plans of what the building looked like, but it did mark where they're supposed to be, at least.
I will know where it is. Just kidding, guys. I do know where it is. Caleb, do you want to come with us?
One raccoon.
You yell at Caleb.
Well, of course.
Yeah, like yell across this entire massive area to Caleb.
It's that big, but
Raccoon kind of glances to you, Caleb, and says, "Well, it looks like everyone's finding some shiny stuff. You might find something you like."
We should. Okay, we go, but we make it quick. We need to stop wasting time here.
I agree. I've been saying that, but no, we have to add more to our task. I think didn't what is it? Neon just like agree to eliminate some of these guys.
And then Kuya's gonna go down to the base of the spot where they jumped down from, and he's gonna catch Raccoon and offer to catch Caleb if he wants.
Caleb, will you
Don't they
allow
need
this?
to come back up?
Well, yes, but
wait.
They need to come
Lu-
back up so we can go back the way that they came in to get back to that building.
Yeah.
Well, Lucian actually would know that you can go through the garage door if you're willing to open it to head to the basement that way,
Yeah, that's quicker.
which would actually be a shorter trip.
And quicker.
Although, yes, someone will probably need to go back for
Somebody open
Theta
that door.
if you guys want to bring them with you.
Well, looks like we're gonna have to fight.
What?
I said we're gonna have to fight.
I'm just getting information.
What is he? What are we gonna have to fight?
Yeah, you're asking that in character.
No. I was
Okay.
asking what you're talking about.
Well,
After you didn't say there was a fight coming up.
well,
I think it means an argument.
no. I mean an actual fight. Did you not forget, of what we heard down that pole?
He said that if we ran across them, we would eliminate them. He didn't say that we want to seek them out.
I know, but we have to get. In order to get to that room, we have to go down that hole, right? Which we heard one of them. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we're most likely going to fight one.
All right.
I don't understand what he's talking about. A hallway.
The hole, not the hallway.
Yeah, the hole and
Matthew, you
scraping.
cut out.
Gil heard like scraping sounds coming from down there, and while nothing came of it, yeah, Zephyr suspects there's likely Ichor beasts that got loose from containment.
Okay,
when
I
quarantine
see
shut
now.
off.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so Raccoon jumps down to you, Gil. Caleb, do you want to go grab Theta real quick, or are you guys gonna leave Theta here for now?
We just walk away and Theta's just sitting there.
I'll go get Theta.
Do you have a way back up the windowsill?
How high up is it?
20 feet.
20 feet? I could just have Morgan basically like
Act as a
prop
platform.
them. Yeah, exactly.
Alright.
Just prop themselves up on the wall.
Sure, easy enough to do. Caleb, Neon is coming back to grab Theta. Do you want to jump down to Gil or use Neon's mech to let yourself be lowered down later? Caleb,
What?
do you want Gil to catch you, or do you want to use Neon's mech Morgan to lower yourself down? Either way, you'll get down safely. So.
Caleb will jump down with Gil's help.
Gil, you catch Caleb and deposit them into the snow as Neon, you head back to grab Morgan. Neon, you head downstairs, the door's still open, and you see, sure enough, Theta still pawing at the door, making small gurgling noises, but as you enter, they turn their head to look at you, and they kind of tilt their head, and like, you actually see a small bubble of ichor grow around where an ear would be before popping, as they say, "What was that?"
What was what?
Oh, is that Gil?
I assume he's talking about the explosion, Matthew.
Yeah, he's making some kind of vague, like, shattering or exploding noise.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Blame it on Gil. Blame it on Gil.
I think it's done with the Transformer explosion, but I was just thinking the you.
Oh, from the fucking electric fence. Oh god, I was so confused. I was like, what the fuck? What are you doing?
Matthew, are you still there?
Yeah,
He's just listening.
My
I
job's
think
the
he's
DM,
talking
you guys
about the
are ones who-
boiler explosion.
It was nothing to worry about. Just knocked something over.
It's dark.
Oh yeah.
It'll be fine. We're going somewhere else. Come with us.
Where are we going?
You remember where we went before? Where we found that nice picture? We're going back there real fast, and we'll take you home.
Okay, be careful.
Don't worry, we'll be careful, as always.
Back into that.
You gently guide Theta up the stairs, and Theta kind of looms over the broken window. And rather than perching and jumping, they basically just kind of slump over the window and land with a splatter on the snow-covered ground, and basically just slowly reconstruct themselves out of ichor.
They see like a giant black loogie.
Yeah, basically, yeah, and then just slowly retakes their form as Neon, you lower yourself back down on Morgan. As Theta and Neon and Caleb with Gil and Raccoon join the rest of you, Theta kind of looks around. Enrichment. See if they can learn.
So, shall we go to our deaths? Let's go.
Really loving the optimism.
This is exactly what we're talking about.
I mean, we've handled most of the ichor beasts that we fought relatively easily.
It's true.
And then two out of 5 straight up didn't fight us.
As Theta kind of looks around, they continue to just repeat what they had earlier said to themselves as they kind of look around and kind of push against some of the trees. And Caro, it almost gives you the impression of like a really isolated animal without any like enrichment or stimulation. Caro?
Oh, sorry. Just like, maybe I can help.
The Theta kind of turns to look at you.
Let's play a game.
They kind of slightly grin and start to kind of hop up and down in place and make their kind of croaking sound.
Arrow pops up and down too. Just.
Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
You feel a slight kind of plink against your nose. Like, you feel a very slight kind of plink against your nose, as if something very lightly impacted it. And looking down to the ground, you see a playing card, similar to the ones you have in your pocket.
Oh.
Caleb picks up the card, wondering how it fell out.
As you kind of pick it up, it vanishes into the same crumbly substance that ichor turns into when the beast is dead. And Zephyr, you kind of step to the side slightly as you see 2 playing cards fall to your left. Gil, you kind of gently pick up Raccoon as Raccoon goes to pick up a few more that have fallen at their feet. And all of you start to see cards just raining around you, very lightly, almost like snow. And Caleb you
looks up.
Yep. The ink puddle on the wall has thickened into almost like a boil on the wall, and every so often it pulsates, and a few cards kind of lightly out of it, like someone doing 52 card pickup, but like in bursts rather than releasing the whole deck at once.
Yay!
Should we get out?
Probably.
Epsilon.
Oh, there he is. Yep.
Are you friends with Epsilon, Theta?
Campbell Games. loves to play games.
Well, I care not of games, so let's go.
I'm gonna have my weapon drawn, or I'm gonna like get inside fucking Morrigan and have my weapons ready.
It's like
Just in case.
I got my sling tongue ready too.
Maybe we should keep moving.
well, then, yeah, let's keep going.
Caro, you want to grab Theta to keep the group moving while everyone else looks like they're just drawing weapons and running for it?
Just going.
Yeah.
We're going.
Let's go.
Theta doesn't take their eyes off of Epsilon, but allows you to pull them. As you guys walk, the cards almost seem to follow you in a very light, almost dust cloud. Not hostile or aggressive, just occasionally kind of lightly plinking against your backs as you head towards the garage door. You almost get the impression it's like almost urging you. Approaching the garage door, there appears to be a biometric scanner and keypad combo, or a keycard combo again.
Well, looks like let's go get this open. Let's get this thing popped open as fast as we
Same
can.
combo as usual.
Yep, it's our combo move.
All right, Neon kind of scrambling out of your mechs, not taking your eyes off of Epsilon. You hoist Zephyr up onto your shoulders. You guys make the usual checks. The rest of you, as they're scrambling to get the door open, watch as very slowly, almost like clawing out of the boiling pustule that has become this ichor, you see an inky black hand start to slowly claw its way out. And clutched in its hand is a deck of cards that are just scattering and folding out of its palm, seemingly endlessly. No matter how many fall free, the deck does not appear to get any smaller or lesser.
A deck of many things.
And Theta just kind of slowly watches, and Kara, you can feel your grip on Theta become colder, almost as if Theta's imitating its own display of abilities to counteract Epsilon.
I got a slutty 20, by the way.
All right, slutty 20. Zephyr?
I got an 18.
All right.
No bad.
And the garage door slowly begins to roll open. And as the garage door starts to open, the cards stop. The arm stays in place, but cards are no longer flying free from its palm, as the arm just hangs limply there. And you all see a single glowing eye open on the center of the boil.
So where's the little construct?
It's still following as ordered.
Caleb's gonna tell it to follow him now.
Follow the being.
And it hovers behind your head.
I'll follow Caleb.
Zephyr takes up position behind you, Caleb, as I'm assuming you all just start to quietly but quickly file out.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
All right.
Don't forget to close it on our way out.
You guys want to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, if we can, I guess, yeah.
Okay, you're gonna have to hack them again.
I'll do it. Sure.
Get this, you know.
Don't roll a 1.
All right.
22.
24.
Okay.
Hey.
You know what's better than 24? 25!
You all start to file out cautiously as Neon, you and Zephyr immediately go to the nearest door at the group's suggestion to start closing it behind you. And as soon as you two start getting to work, the rest of you who can see in the chamber clearly watch as the car again, and the arm starts to twitch. The cards start to swirl in a whirlwind again, this time just circling without anything to follow. But as Neon and Zephyr start getting to work on the door, you watch as the arm twitches and shudders violently before clawing into the metal and stonework of the wall. And another arm shoots out, and you watch as the boil starts to burst, splattering ichor all over the wall as 3 torsos conjoined at the hip emerge from it like a horrifying egg. The one on you guys' right, in its right hand, clutching the deck of cards that have started to flurry out in even greater numbers. The one on the right side, clutching what, Caleb, you recognize to be something vaguely similar to the firearm you're carrying, but it has way more barrels and is way bigger. And finally, the one in the middle.
That thing's a fucking cannon.
And the one in the middle, its arms are completely motionless as they just hang at its sides limply with its joints held up, almost like a kind of almost looking vaguely like a crucifixion. As you see this metallic structure just jammed in the center of these 3 creatures, with this creature's arms just stuck to it, almost looking like an anchor flipped upside down as it curves and like attaches to this creature at the elbows. As the creature starts to claw its way down the walls violently, and it doesn't speak, it just roars and makes horrible gurgling coughs as they scramble down the wall trying to get to the chamber door before it shuts. But Neon, you and Zephyr quickly and you kind of all like panic as the scanner scans. It feels so slow now. Epsilon makes it down to the floor and starts to claw its way violently towards the chamber door. But as all of you get your weapons out and ready for combat, the door starts to slowly crank shut, and as it slams shut and secures, you hear a ting against the door as Epsilon reaches it shortly after it closes.
Does the door like dent in a little bit?
It doesn't appear to dent, but it's loud.
Tough door.
Yeah, they probably built this place with their capabilities in mind.
I actually feel bad because he just wants to get out of that room.
So, I guess.
Let's just hope he doesn't find a window.
No windows, no way out.
Now.
What?
That window that y'all busted to get out.
I mean, I get that he has a way in. He can easily come after us.
Yeah, but we're in a different room from that.
But so let us continue on our journey to find others like him.
Yes, of course.
Let's continue.
All right, you guys collect yourselves and take a moment to calm as you all start to head back through the hallway, leaving Epsilon's chamber behind you as you hear one final Theta kind of calmly gurgles to themselves as they trudge behind all of you. They turn their head upwards, just staring at the ceiling where all the lights are now out. All of you having to rely on dark vision at this point. Or in Caleb's case, following the light of Yill's flame tongue, although you can activate...
Activate the pumpkin.
Well, yeah, you gave the pumpkin to Caro, I believe. Caro, do you want to return the jack-o'-lantern to Caleb?
Yes.
Caleb will turn on the pumpkin.
All right, you guys have some lighting in the hallway now as you proceed forward, and next to you, Caro, Theta kind of mutters to themselves and looks up at the ceiling. Open. It didn't climb out. What are they waiting for?
Care to elaborate, Theta?
They gesture upwards to the ceiling. Enrichment. Open top.
Oh.
Enrichment had an open top.
Yeah, you guys recall that the ceiling of the chamber Epsilon was in was open at the ceiling, so the radio tower could get a clear signal. And basically, Theta is pointing out, like, why didn't Epsilon just climb out if they wanted to be free so badly?
Can he climb the walls? Maybe they're too cold.
He started on the
there's
wall.
Maybe there's a shield.
Maybe he wasn't really concerned with getting out and more concerned with who was inside with him.
Also that.
Yeah. Either way.
Back to house.
Yes,
We're
back to
getting
the
there.
Was Theta known for being aggressive? Well, not Theta, the one up on the roof. What was that one? Was Epsilon known for being aggressive?
They give a slow, goopy nod. Gamma was... We discovered how to make them stable. Epsilon had too many.
Which ones are... Do you know which ones would be most likely to be aggressive and which ones are not likely to be aggressive?
Zeta is the smartest before me.
So are they just unpredictable before you?
They give a nod. Unstable. Didn't know what worked.
But Alpha didn't attack.
They give a small shrug, and they pause and time.
Time?
Yeah, time.
Are you
You
asking
just
what
think it
time
was a
is it?
matter of time.
Theta is kind of quiet for a moment, and they said to wait. Let them become stable over time. Alpha was the first.
They had enough time to stabilize-ish.
Was Alpha the most unstable at first?
They give a slow nod. Charlie was the most aggressive. The others were unstable, unpredictable. After Gamma, they got too smart. Set traps, strategized.
That's fun. Let's get into
Did
that.
they ever cooperate?
They give a nod. They work together, talk to each other.
And we have to deal with it. Yay.
That's concerning. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's leave. Let's not be here. Oh, cool. That's what I've been saying this whole time.
Let's get to the house, and then once we're done looking around, we'll get out of here.
You know what Theta just said? They strategize and talk to each other. How do you know that there's no traps here waiting for us?
There's probably a bunch of
The
traps.
lack of seeing them could just all be part of a plan they have.
That is precisely what I mean.
I say we go.
For once, I am with Zephyr. As much as I want to go and check out that house, I think it is time for us to leave.
There's too much information, though, that we might gain.
What information? That there's a room?
I mean, it's already been looked over, though.
And we don't know who's looked over. There's an entire house.
Caleb looks to Neon and them. Didn't you already look that building over?
Enough.
At the time, our primary objective was to get back to you guys, so we didn't stick around very much. All we stuck around to see was the portrait of the lady?
Yeah, just the lady.
Okay, I get her and the mother confused.
Maybe the one the same.
We only stuck around to see the portrait of the lady, and then we found some diamonds, which we can split once we get out of here.
Dang. was hoping
Caleb's-
you. I was hoping
Caleb's
you
going to
didn't
be
mention
like-
Did you say diamonds?
Well, Lucian knows apparently knows this building somewhat now. So as long as we always have an escape route
I
ready,
actually have the entire layout memorized, so yeah.
Let's go there
so we
quickly.
keep an escape route ready. If we meet too much resistance, then we just escape.
Just the
I
blueprint
will-
memorized.
In my mind palace, I will start making an escape route from the house.
Noted.
She has the blueprints remembered, as long as those blueprints are up to date.
All right. Are you guys all good to head downstairs then?
No, but I'm going. I guess I will.
All right. Caro, anything notable for you? Just again,
While
you've been
we're
quiet. So.
walking,
Hmm?
Right. And they she just kind of nods, just whatever we want to do.
Lucian.
while we're walking, she'll kind of catch up to Officer Neon. Did you say diamonds?
I did, yeah.
Are there any diamonds that are worth like 300 or so? Because I could use those to bring back somebody from the dead. Like if one of us dies, I can use the diamond to bring back somebody if they die in combat.
DM, I believe it was mentioned that they were each very like over
Easily in the
about.
thousands. Yeah, easily in the thousands, but you don't know exactly how much.
I believe
Basically,
they
you
all
could
are.
break pieces off of them, and those pieces would allow you to resurrect someone.
Well, I mean, the whole thing could do it. It's just you waste an entire diamond.
Waste?
Well-
I would argue that spending a
Zephyr.
Well, no, what I
Fucking
mean,
resurrecting you.
what I mean by the waste is you could technically just cut it into pieces, like he said, and you get multiple. Multiple uses.
That's
of it.
true.
You just have to get
They
300
would,
down.
they would need someone who knows how to use a jeweler's kit for that, and I don't know
Yeah.
if there's anyone like that in this party.
Yeah.
And I think there might be one person who knows that.
Oh, no, yeah, of course.
About to ask Zephyr.
Mhm.
So she'll look over to Zephyr. Well, I know you don't like me and I don't like you, but I think maybe we can help each other out here.
Oh.
You know, you can maybe if, like get some of the diamonds cut up to the 300 area, and I can resurrect you if you die.
How many diamonds did y'all find?
5 or 5.
So we can cut one and divide the rest. If y'all are okay with that.
Well, there'd certainly be dividing going on.
Yes, but we don't need all 5 cut into itty bitty pieces.
Yeah.
That
I
would
know,
be a lot
I
of
was making a
resurrecting,
joke.
No,
though.
I would not ask that because that is selfish. But I mean, it's not really selfish if I'm being like, "Hey, this is for everybody if they die." I don't think that's like selfish.
How many
I'm
people
trying
are in
to
You
help
also-
everybody here.
you also see-
7 total.
You also keep implying that we're going to die. You're 4.
What happened to one?
Hey, Zephyr was worried about people dying. Well, here you go.
No, never said. I mean,
I have said it several times.
I said that we're probably gonna
You
die.
said we're going to. Who's ready
Yeah.
to die?
Oh yeah, I mean he's not gonna die. I mean, if he has to, he'll just walk away from the situation.
I like how you
You got
specify
that.
he'll walk away. You know, he's not going to run away.
Oh,
He's going to walk away.
Yeah, Zephyr walks away.
it's just like, well, bye bye.
Lucian is sprinting for the printing, and Zephyr walks away.
I mean,
Man,
yeah.
this rushes in.
Yeah, man. Taco's good out here. Yeah. Cinematic parallels. All right, so you guys start to make your way through the hall with the chamber door shut behind you. And sure enough, you find the open vault door leading downstairs. Do you guys want to head down?
You?
No,
Zephyr doesn't exactly want to, but
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll have to deal
Well,
with
you can fucking
conflict.
suck it off.
I mean,
well, he can soak it up, mate.
Who wants to lead the way down? Just who wants to go first, basically, while the rest of the group goes behind them.
I will.
I'll go first.
Maybe we should.
well, you probably. Well, even then, you shouldn't be going down. 'Cause I don't think you have dark vision. Or do you have dark vision? Oh yeah, I think you might do have dark vision.
Do elves always have dark
Well,
vision?
elves have dark
Yeah.
vision. And if you're a drow, you get like double dark vision.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Lucian, you want to go first?
I'll be next.
Also,
Also,
noticing the clock.
I got it. Don't worry. Trust me.
Getting ready. Getting ready.
We talked
everybody ready?
about this. All right.
I know. I'm just giving a hard time.
I was gonna say, don't make me climb through the screen and smack the crap out of you.
Lucian, with Gil shortly behind you, you start to descend down the ladder. You guys have not been in this area yet, but of course you'll remember it from before. You find yourself in a small, now completely pitch black room, although with Caleb's jack-o'-lantern, it does shed a small cone of light down into the center. You see the
Caleb is
massive...
prepared for Halloween.
Yeah, you see a massive computer monitor, the tunnel, the two hallways on either side, one of which is open, the other, well, both sides are open, but one of which you can see a door to the right already preemptively opened. But as all of you start to funnel down, Lucian and Gil, the two of you don't see anything particularly unusual. However, as all of you start to gather up, you hear a voice from the tunnels. Hello?
What?
No, don't answer. I know that voice.
You
Is
know
someone
that
out there?
voice.
I'm gonna keep my weapon drawn.
I mean, the good thing in this place.
I'm going. I'll kind of signal. I'm gonna signal to the others, like a shushing to my mouth, and I will peek my head out the door to where I hear the voice.
You hear it from the tunnel, so it's just like a big open cavern. Make me a perception check.
Perception check. Not one. You don't see anything.
Sorry, I was doing math. 24.
All right. It takes you a minute. You squint and you carefully look. You can see the cavern, the tunnel actually goes beyond your range of dark vision, although you do see a slight turn to the right just at the outer edge of it. But slowly emerging from the darkness, kind of looking around cautiously with their fingers steepled together, you see an elf. Their hair dark and slicked back slightly, almost like it's greased. A lab coat covered in inky black stains, and they look around nervously. Is someone here? I thought I heard voices.
Hello, Zeta.
They stop, and they kind of tilt their head to the side, and all of you kind of anxiously pause, as you see a slight smile on the elf scientist's face. Guess it's not working, is it?
I knew it.
I was gonna shoot him.
Oh well. I guess it's no big loss, seeing as I'm already in the room with you.
I cast Guiding Bolt.
Lucian, as you're readying your spell, you all hear rapid, like squishy footsteps, and from the hallway to your right, you see an identical elf emerge holding a massive weapon in their hands, which they immediately turn and pull the trigger on. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
There it is.
Like I said,
I got a quick question.
Conflict.
No,
Is it Zeta or Zeta?
it's Zeta.
Z or T?
Z.
Z.
Zeta.
Zeta. Yeah, theta is
It's not
T.
interesting thing. It's not the last letter of that alphabet though.
That's actually why it
That's-
comes before. That's why I put it before
Figured it
theta.
out. I fucking figured it out. I'm so
I
proud
mean,
of myself.
I figured it
didn't
was
think it was-
fake.
I
Yeah.
didn't think it was Zeta. I thought it was the one that came after Theta.
I didn't really
the one
know. I didn't know who it
Oh,
was.
lambda.
The-
Yeah.
I didn't really know who it was.
Yeah, I
I,
thought
was
it
just
gonna
gonna
be
shoot it
Lambda as
anyways.
well.
I was just gonna
But
shoot
it's
it
like the
anyways.
most stable one.
The only reason the only reason I didn't think that it was Lambda was because I think it was said that it had been disappeared. Like it's
Yeah,
been
because,
with process of elimination, I just kind of was like, probably Zeta.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna.
Lambda.
I was gonna shoot it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
Like,
Yeah,
no,
I
okay.
didn't really think it was gonna be.
This guy can clone himself.
He's got instead of shadow clones,
Don't
ink
think that's what's
clones.
happening
There's
here.
2 of them.
Clever girl.
Yeah, it's like-
Thank you.
I thought it was gonna be like another one of the Icar beasts came down with him, like they were working together, like we said.
Nah, I mean, I was gonna. I mean, the thing is, even if he was good, I'll be honest, I probably would have still shot him. I mean,
Why?
Oh yeah, here I'm a good guy. I can give verifiable proof that I'm a good guy, and I'm going to help you out here. Pa, pa, pa.
I don't know. It's,
Yeah,
no.
like, now I can finally reveal. This entire dungeon, I've been in the background calculating what the Icar Beast strategies are based on their observations of all of you.
Yeah, I mean, you should have only
Turns out that
seen
they've
3,
all been working together, even the one following us.
Mm-hmm.
and maybe even Alpha, even the Alpha.
Like, imagine if like the whole friendly act by Alpha and this one is just trying to measure our responses.
Now, real talk, that's actually been like that thought has occurred to me several times. It just like I'm not
bad.
I'm legit not sure how much I trust Theta right now, just because like he's been helpful, sure, but he's still an Icar Beast.
Yeah.
Well, so is the party.
Matt, please
Kinda,
tell me that
technically.
Zeta's not in on this.
Well, you'll have to find out.
But we're Icar beasts that are so stable that we're actually gone beyond the point of being necessarily bad.
Well, we're Icar beasts with our conscience fully intact.
For
We
yourself.
just have the
look at-
Icar
look at
blood.
Zephyr.
Zephyr.
Zephyr is like, I'd argue Zephyr is more. He's not outright
Leave
evil.
me alone.
Well, I mean,
I'd argue that Zephyr is even worse than the Icar Beast, honestly, because
look, that's just Zephyr. That's just.
Alright.
Fucking
I mean, yeah.
The thing about, yeah, I mean, I guess you could say like with the Icar beasts, you know where they stand. You're not 100% certain where Zephyr is gonna stand 5 minutes from now.
I respect an enemy more than I respect a neutral.
Hey, look, if y'all all go down, what's Zephyr gonna do? He's gonna walk away.
Yeah, he's gonna leave.
Wait, you have a healing potion strapped to your thigh.
I mean, think about think about it. In a way, Zephyr is the most trustworthy of the group because we can always trust him to do what is in the party's direct disinterest.
You always
Well, it's close
expect
to the
it.
party's disinterest, and he's always gonna do what's in his interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, like, considering that Zephyr has gotten you guys through so much of this facility's security without understanding any of it, mind you. But yeah, so before
Done
we,
him any good to get stuck.
yeah, well, I mean, yeah, still, I'm just saying, like, you know, sometimes someone working in their best interest can at least still help you.
Yeah.
So, I hope you guys all had fun. Before we get into any more stuff, for those of you watching at home, check out our website at officialD5hub.info. Check out our link in chat, which will be posted shortly, to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly. And support our episodes, post on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Check out the Auctioneer Productions official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our Cobalt Rogues own Twitch channel at twitch.tv/AustinFreak123. Thanks all of you so much for playing. Thanks everyone at home so much for watching, and we'll see you all next week.
Woo.
Bye.